tonight, the finals of the District 29 Wrestling Tournament. Hello everybody, with John Bojating, I am John Mondelli. Kingsway High School has already clinched a team title, and we're ready for the introductions, so we're going to send it over to Steve Anashevsky for tonight's introductions.
A record of 19-6 from Pittman High School, Joey Callahan. His opponent is a sophomore and the #1 seed in this weight class. 7-1 this year, 36-2 for his career, from Paulsboro High School, Matt Hunkler. At 112 pounds, a freshman, the #3 seed in this weight class. A record of 16-8 from Kingsway High School, Gary Lehman. His opponent is a sophomore and the #1 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 last year. He's 26-0 this year, 47-5 for his career. From Clearview, Robert Becker. At 119 pounds, a junior and the #2 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner, a 2-time state qualifier and region place winner. 23-4 this year, 75-16 for his career. From Kingsway, Andy Valleco. He's a junior. He is also a 3-time District 29 place winner and is a defending District 29 champion. He placed 4th in Region 8 last year, 22-2 this year, 64-16 for his career. From Pittman, Jason Mercado. At 125 pounds, a freshman, the #3 seed in this weight class, 20-6 this year. From Clearview, Billy Gibbs. Is a senior and a #1 seed in this weight class. A 4-time District 29 finalist, the defending District 29 champion, the defending Region 8 champion. 23-0 this year, 81-22 for his career. From West Deptford, Jason Gardner. At 130 pounds, a senior, the #1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 champion, a 3-time Region 8 place winner, and Region 8 champion in 1995. He placed 4th in New Jersey State Tournament last year. He's 26-0 this year, 115 wins, 10 losses for his career. From Clearview, Kevin Van Brill. Senior. He's a #2 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner. He was a runner-up in 1996. He's 26-2 this year, 77-18 for his career. From Paulsboro High School, Marvin Hamilton Jr. At 135 pounds, a junior and the #1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 finalist. 21-4 this year, 61-13 for his career. From Kingsway High School, Kevin Logue. His opponent is a junior and a #2 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 place winner and runner-up in 1996. 24-1 this year, 64-12 for his career. From Gateway, Zach Bush. at 140 pounds, a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 14-11 this year, 39-30 for his career, from Kingsway, Donnie Reed. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He placed 4th in District 29 in 1996. He's 22-2 this year, 46-18 for his career, from West Deptford, Mike Clancy. At 145 pounds, a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 place winner, runner-up last year. He also placed 4th in Region 8 last year. 20-3 this year, 72-24 for his career, from Kingsway, Joe Harry. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 place winner. He also placed 4th in Region 8 last year. 25-0 this year, 77-24 for his career, from Woodbury High School, Kevin Jackson. At 152 pounds, a junior, the number 1 seed in this weight class, a District 29 runner-up last year. 22-2 this year. His career record is 56-16, from Kingsway High School, Matt Hoover. His opponent is a senior and the number 3 seed in this weight class. 17-4 this year, 45-23 for his career, from Glassboro High School, Ryan Reeves. At 160 pounds, a junior, the number 2 seed in this weight class. 22-4 this year, 37-29 for his career, from Kingsway, Kevin Dobish. His opponent is a senior, a 3-time district place winner. He placed 2nd in District 29 last year. 24-0 this year, 86-14 for his career, from West Deptford, John Craig. At 171 pounds, a sophomore, the number 5 seed in this weight class. He's 9-5 this year, 10-6 for his career, from Deptford, Sean Johnson. His opponent is a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 18-6 this year, 46-39 for his career, from Clearview High School, Dan Fackelman. At 189 pounds, a junior, the number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 place winner. He placed 2nd in 1996. He also placed 4th in Region 8 in 1996. He's 21-1 this year, 59-15 for his career, from Deptford High School, Sean Hendricks. His opponent is a freshman. He's the number 2 seed in this weight class. His record 25-3 this year, from Paulsboro High School, Troy Bennett. At 215 pounds, a senior, the number 1 seed in this weight class, a District 29 runner-up in 1996. He is 12-0 this year. 51-9 for his career, from Deptford High School, Harry Weber. His opponent at 215 is a senior. He's the number 3 seed in this weight class. He's a 3-time District 29 place winner, and in 1995 he was a District 29 champion. In 1996 he also placed 4th in Region 8. He's 14-2 this year, 57-6 for his career, from West Deptford High School, Mike Shields. At 275 pounds, a sophomore, the number 3 seed in this weight class, 18-5 this year, 22-11 for his career, from Deptford, John Sproul. His opponent is a senior. He's the number 1 seed in this weight class and a 3-time District 29 champion. He is a 2-time Region 8 runner-up. He is the defending New Jersey State champion at 275 pounds. 27-0 this year, 104-14 for his career, from Paulsboro High School, Jermaine Ruffin. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you all please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
Once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
All right, and your capacity crowd here at Gloucester County College is ready for the District 29 Wrestling Championships. The first, second, and third placers from here, of course, going to the Region 8 Championships, which will start on Wednesday night down at Apsagami High School. First round starts at 6 o'clock. Only the seconds and thirds here tonight will wrestle on Wednesday night. Then on Friday night, the champions here tonight swing into action. And of course, at stake at the regional championships, the first, second, and thirds from the regions move on to the first round of the state tournament, which is more commonly called the Super Regionals, and that'll be held at Cherry Hill East High School the Tuesday following the state tournament. And then, of course, that Friday and Saturday, the state championships continue at the Atlantic City Convention Center. John, we should have some humdingers tonight.
Yes, we should, Village. A lot of great wrestling this afternoon, some great matches in the consolation. And 103 pounds, Matt Hunkler of Paulsboro, no surprise to see him there. And the number 2 seed is from Pittman. Tell us what you know about these two wrestlers.
All right, Matt Hunkler, of course, having a super year, 27-1 this year. His only loss is to Brad Davenport of Great Bridge, Virginia, in that Deep Creek tournament. Back around right after Christmas, and he came back and beat Davenport 6-5 for third place in the same tournament. So he lost 2-1 and won 6-5. Joe Coulihan of Pittman High School is a freshman. Hunkler's a sophomore, Coulihan a freshman. His first varsity action, 19-6 this year. He's lost to Alexander of Delsey, Austin of Ocean City, Jesse Queno of Woodbury, Mike Townsend, Joe Tenuto, Gary Lehman, some familiar names. Lehman of Kingsway High School.
I think that he's wrestled up a weight at sometimes then.
He has, it looks like, although Alexander, Austin are 3-pounders. Gary Lehman, of course, wrestled in this tournament up a weight of 112 pounds. Jesse Aquino was the third place finisher. He's from Deptford. I think I might have said Woodbury. He's from Deptford High School. He finished third at this weight class, so he'll be going to Apsagami. He beat Adam Spike Reed of West Deptford 7-5 overtime on the tiebreaker, John. You know what the tiebreaker is?
It's top bottom.
They wrestled their regulation bout. They were tied. They wrestled 2 minutes of overtime. They were tied 5-5. A flip of a coin. Aquino got the bottom position. He reversed in that tiebreaker, 30-second tiebreaker, and he won 7-5. Had Spike Reed ridden him out, he would have advanced with a ride out in the tiebreaker.
Well, we're scoreless so far. First 50 seconds of this match. I'm fiddling around with my microphone, Voj. That's what the problem was there.
I noticed that. You're making a lot of noise there next to me. Huntler, of course, the number 1 seed at this weight class. Houlihan, a number 2 seed. Huntler advanced with a 116 fall over Eric Ekman of Kingsway. He decisioned Jesse Aquino of Deptford 8-2. Houlihan pinned Martin Hummer of Glassboro, and then he beat Spike Reed of West Deptford 12-8.
And we have our first discussion. We had a lot of these this afternoon.
Yes, we did.
Wayne Rochelle, the head coach of Pittman.
Wayne Rochelle II.
Yeah, familiar name coaching at Pittman, but a different face.
Different face. The father, of course, Wayne Rochelle, who's the assistant clerk in this tournament, was the coach at Pittman when young Wayne Rochelle wrestled as a lightweight at Pittman, was a 4-time district champion, John.
And speaking of 4-time district champions, we have a chance of seeing 2 more today.
And I think we're going to see a little history tonight. Not only does Kevin Van Brill have a shot at it, but Jermaine Ruffin, who was introduced earlier as the heavyweight from Paulsboro, has won 3 district championships, and there's no heavyweight in South Jersey history, and I seriously doubt in state history, has ever won 4 district championships. No heavyweight.
Yeah, because a lot of people think Bill Duff did, but he won a couple, I think, at 189, correct?
Well, he did not win all, first of all, he wasn't a 4-time district champ.
Okay.
He was a 2-time state champ.
Okay, that's what it was.
Right, but he was a 2-time state champ at heavyweight. Houlihan, spunky enough to start with out here, and on the single leg of Hunkler, picks it up in the air.
Hunkler has the 2-0 lead.
Little takedown, of course, and of course we got an escape there. So now it's going to be 2-1. The referee on the mat is Chris Hunder, former wrestler at Cherry Hill East High School, and he's being assisted by that ever popular or unpopular, I guess according to which side of the gym you're sitting on, Joe Henry.
At least this afternoon. And of course, I want to remind fans that when Roy Fenimore is in charge of the match, he is mic'd, so we'll be able to hear Roy. He is one of the most animated officials out there.
2-1 after 1 period, Hunkler in the lead. As you mentioned in the lead-in, Kingsway has already clinched this championship, which means Paulsboro's string of 25 consecutive district championships has come to an end. They're in a good position to finish second. I thought it would be a three-team race for second place. Paulsboro, West Deptford, and Clearview, and right now Paulsboro has the edge. These wrestlers that win tonight, John, each get 4 points for their team with a regular decision. They can pick up bonus points by way of technical falls, pins, or major decisions, as you see an escape by Joey Houlihan.
2-2. Houlihan wrestling with a lot of confidence.
Seems to me the times I've seen Matt Hunkler this year, John, he gets stronger as the match goes on.
And he's in on the leg.
12 of the 14 number 1 seeds have advanced to the finals tonight. Only 2 weight classes, 119, where Jason Mercado beat previously undefeated Mike Zeckman of Woodbury. Jason Mercado of Pittman. You see a takedown by Hunkler. Advanced with a decision, and then Sean Johnson came out of nowhere, so to speak, at 171 pounds and upset the number 1 seed, pinned the number 1 seed, Brian Jamison of Kingsway. We'll talk about that more when we get to them.
Hunkler with the 4-2 lead. Hunkler from Paulsboro, Houlihan from Pittman.
Max, you gotta break it down, man. Let's go.
42 seconds left in the second period. Opening match. Hunkler lists his hobbies, his favorite pastime when not wrestling, lifting, off-season conditioning for wrestling.
A lot of excitement there, huh? I'm sure that's you in your off-season.
Well, let me tell you another thing he probably does in the off-season, he does all year long. He's a tremendous academic student at Paulsboro High School, so I'm sure he does a lot of reading to carry the kind of grades he's carrying, John. He's in the 90s with his grade, with his average. He's a pretty intelligent kid. Escape.
Houlihan gets out. It's 4-3, 14 seconds. You hate to see those points lit up late in a period. Hunkler will try and get it back with 9 seconds left.
Houlihan lists his favorite pastimes, running, spending time with his family. And schoolwork. There's an innocent answer for a freshman in high school. Enjoys schoolwork for his pastime. Oh, brother.
So after 2 periods, Huntler leads 4-3. And speaking of great student athletes, I talked to one earlier. I think you had an article on him in the paper maybe a month ago. Mark Som of Gloucester is here today.
Saw him earlier today. He and his mom are here. His dad is on I won't say he's on vacation in Florida, a working vacation maybe, but his dad's not here. Mom is here, and Mark Som is here, and he looked healthy.
Absolutely.
He was banged up at Hofstra, and it finally got to the point where he would have needed a major operation. And
now I need the chocolate one. Do we know which one's chocolate, or are they both chocolate? The first mother of Paulsboro, that's Mrs. Berzicelli, just dropped herself some milkshakes courtesy of Don and Bert's.
Yes, I'm glad you defined that in a hurry.
Yes, I know. Make sure I got the chocolate. That's good.
Don't forget to remind me to take my pills tonight.
I will, Voge. So what to talk about?
The first lady of 316 Greenwich is not by my side to remind me. It's her birthday today, by the way, John.
That's right. I got her a singing telegram. It never showed up. Let's quickly look at the team scores coming in, and you can see Kingsway with the 173.5 has clinched it. Paulsboro second, West Deptford third, Clearview fourth, and Deptford fifth.
And why we say Paulsboro is clinched because they have 139 points. I mean, why Kingsway is clinched it. Paulsboro is 139. They have 4 finalists, John. If all 4 were to pin out, the max they can get is 24 points if all 4 pin. And that would only add up to 163.
You didn't teach math, did you?
No.
What were you, history? English. English. Okay, Huntler with the reverse. 6-3 lead. 30 seconds into the third and final period.
Huntler is what you call a tenacious type wrestler, John. He sticks to you like a... somebody explained to me recently, I guess it was the John Sachi, the Rutgers University coach, which would make Nikki Birch-Kelly very happy if he heard that. I talked with Justin Hurst, and I talked with his coach. Justin Hurst, of course, was a wrestler at Lenape High School, now wrestling for varsity for Rutgers University New Brunswick. And Coach Sachi said Justin Hurst sticks to you like body paint.
A very good article in today's Courier, Village, which would be 3 days old by the time people hear this, but excellent article.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Huntler in control, 6-3, stalemate, 103 left in the third.
We talked about a former South Jersey wrestler today, Tommy McAleer, who started his career with the Deptford midget program, wrestled scholastically at Gloucester Catholic High School. In fact, he was a state finalist his senior year, lost in the finals to that Glenn Pritzlaff.
Who is arguably probably the best wrestler, one of the best world.
One of the best.
Say best, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, he's at Penn State. And Tom McAleer lost to him, came here to Gloucester County College for 1 year, was 7th in the country, so he was an All-American at GCC. Went on to York College, he's wrestled there 3 years, winding down his career. He's qualified for his 3rd trip to the national tournament, NCAA Division III.
40 seconds, Huntler leads 6-3, and of course Huntler got a little bit of wrestling in last year, but he had to sit behind David Gibbon, who had a great season, was a runner-up at districts last year for Paulsboro. But I guess you learn, you pay your dues, and sophomore year, a great season. I think he surprised a lot of people.
I think he surprised everyone but the coaching staff of Paulsboro, the community of Paulsboro, and wrestling followers of Paulsboro. He showed his tenaciousness last year when he went 9-1 behind Gibbons. So everybody was expecting a good year from him, and maybe he's far exceeded some people's thoughts of how good he could be. But
I don't think anybody took him serious until he beat Alexander from Delsey.
Well, he's a top-ranked 3-pounder in South Jersey right now.
Yeah, 5 seconds away from a District 29 championship. We're going to take a break. The winner at 103, Matt Huntler of Paulsboro. We'll be back with more wrestling right after this. Back at Gloucester County College, getting ready for 112 pounds. The undefeated wrestler from Clearview, Robert Becker, going up against Gary Lehman at Kingsway. And Voge, despite the 8 losses for Lehman, he took Becker into overtime before losing in a dual meet earlier in the year.
That's right. 4-6. Lost to him twice. Overtime 4-6 and 5-1. Lehman, as the coach identified on his form that he filled out for us, is Gary Lehman.
Okay, I'll get that right.
I get a lot of names messed up. When you have a last name like Vojding, you try to be careful. Anyway, Robert Becker, a sophomore, 26-0, 47-5 in his career. He's the number 1 seed. He's wrestling Gary Lehman of Kingsway, 16-8 this year. He lost to Donapel of Deptford, who finished 4th in this tournament. Lost him 4-6. He lost to Wilson of Pensgrove, Tenuta of Collingswood, Benson of Whippany Park, Zora of South Plainfield, Behringer of Hapatcon, and of course you mentioned Becker of Clearview 2 times.
I was going to say William Penn. I don't know.
William Penn, I'm sorry.
That's pretty good. How about that?
Yes, a good catch by your astuteness there, John.
I saw that William Penn article today in the Courier Post about the Jason Land of St. James.
Yes, wrestling as we speak, I imagine.
1 minute gone, no score. And Becker looked really impressive. He just went right after Jesse Thorne today, got the quick pin.
I was going to say maybe we shouldn't blink, but I'm sure that Gary Lehman has been through some wars this year, and he's wrestled Becker twice, so I think Becker has to be a little careful. But Becker advanced with a 149 pin over John Wisniewski of Pittman. Then he pinned Jesse Thorne of Paulsboro in 37 seconds, so he's barely been out there for 1 period in this tournament so far. Gary Lehman, the number 3 seed at this weight class, as you see a takedown. Advanced with a 133 pin over Nick Guerrero of Clayton. Then he advanced with a 7-2 win over number 2 seed Jimmer Donapel of Deptford. Jesse Thorne came back and beat the Jimmer Donapel of Deptford 7-6 for 3rd place, and he will go to Absegami on Wednesday night for the Region 8 tournament.
30 seconds left, 2-0.
The winner of this bout gets a bye on Wednesday night, and we'll start wrestling on a Friday night at Absegami. Very impressed with several of the teams in this tournament, John. Kingsway, of course, has had just a fantasy year. They were 25-0. They won the Tri-County Royal Division. They won the South Jersey Group 2 Championship. They won the State Group 2 Championship. Probably the only place they faltered all year was in a tournament at Christmas time at Delsey. And in that tournament, they were missing a couple wrestlers, had a couple six. They weren't 100%. Of course, Absegami was in that tournament, dominated. Delsey was the 2nd best team in that tournament, but Kingsway met Delsey, head up and trimmed them pretty good. So it's been a great year for Guy Davidson and Mike McConville at Kingsway High School.
They are the only team in the NJSIAA to go undefeated.
That's correct.
I don't want to. I know the people get me if I say in the state with Blair Academy from the state.
Well, we don't count that. Phillipsburg, of course, is one of the top teams in the state. Won the Group 4 championship. Absegami had misfortune in Group 3 and did not win it and finished 3rd. We can talk about that a little later.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some injury time. I want to get your opinion on that. We're 2-0. Okay. Becker with the lead over Lehman.
Kingsway, of course, won Group 2. Group 3, Group 1, of course, ended up in that infamous 33-33 tie in co-championships with Paulsboro and Roselle Park. And, of course, Camden Catholic got beaten in the parochial A finals, and St. Joe Hampton got beat in the parochial B finals.
Begin the second period. Lehman on top. Becker looking to get out, looking to switch, and he'll get the reverse. It's up, and he's up 4-0. Great move. He had a great season last year, though, too, right, Boj?
Well, last year he was 21-5 and 3rd in the district as a freshman. 26-0 this year. Of course, I guess it really helps a lot when you have someone like Kevin Van Brill in the squad to punish you a little bit each day.
Yeah, I know that. I'm noticing on here Gary Lehman.
Right?
Favorite pastime, skiing.
Oh, brother.
With this kind of weather, though, not much skiing going on this year, is there?
As you can see Lehman in the corner being treated by his trainer along with Guy Davidson to the right, and that's that Mike McConville in the background, the brain trust of the Kingsway Dragons. Yeah, skiing hasn't been one of those sports where you can really enjoy it around South Jersey.
It makes you think of something, though, Boj, which is a quick plug for one of our sponsors, Pools and Spas by Van Brill.
There you go.
This weather makes you think about swimming, and from time to time throughout the match, we're going to thank our sponsors because they're the people that are bringing the match to you.
Make this possible, and of course, it's nice to think about spas this time of the year. Can summer be far behind?
Well, we'll get more into our plugs in a little bit. Minute 50 left. Becker with a 4-0 lead. With this impressive showing, Becker's putting his name out there early for a possible MVP.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. You have an array of candidates in this tournament. That Jason Mercado was impressive. Built up a 5-1 lead. Let Zekman come back and tie it up late in the regulation. Went overtime, beat him in overtime. Becker, of course, having a great tournament. Van Brill having a great tournament. that Ruffin hasn't wrestled a full period yet in the tournament. Unfortunately, most times heavyweights get overlooked, but I'll tell you what, he's been outstanding this year. Personally accounted for several of Paulsboro's wins, and of course, if he didn't get a pin against Belleville, they wouldn't have had that tie after that loss to Absegami back in January. Jermaine has had a great career at Paulsboro.
Back to the center. 4-0 lead still for Becker of Clearview. Clearview, another fine season. Just in a tough conference with Pennsville, Kingsway, Delsey, and of course Clearview.
And Woodstown, I mean, they just knocked each other silly over there.
Of course, Deptford's in that conference. Didn't have a great year as a team, but they have 4 guys in the last 4 weights in the districts tonight.
And I think what everybody has to remember is Deptford started off with a tragedy at the beginning of the year. The late Greg McLean, who was their going to be their head coach this year, succeeding Otis Myers, passed away, and right at the beginning of the season, Van Lynch stepped in for a few days as an interim coach, and then they hired Joey Hollywood, former state champion from Deptford, and he's done a great job. They were injured early in the year. Harry Weber broke his hand. Pat Gremmel was out hurt for a while, and they've overcome a lot of obstacles and had a pretty decent year. So I think Joe Hollywood's going to do a great job for Deptford, and you'll see them. But mentioning an Absegami thing, John, while we have a quick time out here, as you see, has Bill Chiaffi in the blue shirt there. He's assistant coach at Clearview. John Marinelli, the head coach. Kingsway, the Absegami heavyweights leading 14-0 with less than a minute to wrestle, and against North Hunterton, his team is ahead by 3 points. Man starts to get away from him at the bottom. He comes down on top of him and come down with a forearm or an elbow to the back of the head, and the other wrestler was stunned. The official called 1 point for unnecessary roughness. The wrestler could not continue from North Hunterton. They get 6 points. They win the championship 29-26, and there goes the dream of Absegami right out the window.
Steve Anishevsky, of course, the guest on my show, called the North Hunterton coach gutless. Would you go that far?
No, not at all.
Okay.
First of all, I don't think it was in North Hunterton's coach's domain, as you see in Escape, to make a decision there. The trainer came out, dealt with the wrestler for 2 minutes on the mat, and they carted that boy away to a hospital, and I think they had to bind him up to carry him away.
Okay.
Now, you can say start, stop.
Right.
You can't throw in the towel because there's just been an unnecessary roughness. So play must continue. If you're going to award a penalty point, but that boy couldn't even get up to go in the center of the mat, according to the trainer. Now, anybody who wants to mess with trainers nowadays, they're the medical experts out there. And suppose he did get up and go out there for a start-stop and had a fracture of vertebrae in his neck. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Trainer gets sued, the school gets sued, the referees get sued, the state gets sued. We're a sue-happy nation. No, I don't think it was a gutless maneuver by the coach.
Maybe the word was coward, but it was hard. But he's not the only person that said it. A lot of people had said that. I guess you had to be there.
Well, we saw a 2-point takedown there.
And that's a big takedown, 6-1. He got that with 5 seconds left.
In the second period.
Becker doing everything right.
Takes a 6-1 lead. Very methodical. We could say the same thing last year in the West Deptford Paulsboro Dome meet. I mean, Kendrick was slammed by Jason Brown. Slam was called right away. He did not continue. With Jason Brown seemingly the more dominant wrestler, should they have made that boy get up and do a start-stop and let Brown win by default? I mean, safety first out there, whether you think it's entirely 100% or not. I mean, you can't make those decisions. You can't see inside the bodies of people.
Okay. I got your opinion on it. And by the way, you can tell this is a big match. And District 29 is really good. Directly across from me, Boyd Sands, the head of the NJSIAA, because you can see that nice, I would say distinguished crew cut.
Yes.
I won't say gray hair.
No. Well, it's always
distinguished
been,
look.
Yeah, it's always been a distinguished look ever since he was the superintendent of schools at Delsey High School. A fine gentleman. He's in charge of the NJSA, as you mentioned, which is the state governing body for interscholastic athletics in New Jersey. He had told me last week he was coming here for the finals because he thought he'd see some rip-roaring matches here, and I don't think he's going to be disappointed. District 29 has really afforded itself well in the last couple of years in a Region 8 tournament, and I expect it to happen again this year.
Well, we have a minute 20, and Rob Becker's putting on a show. He hasn't had to go that long in the first 2 matches.
And he gets called for stalling with a 6-1 lead. And the reason for that, John, he's riding parallel the officials want to see the top man try to turn the bottom man over. So you have to get out, in their opinion, get out to the side, get perpendicular to him, not parallel. 6-1 lead, this is a tournament. He can afford a stalling call or two.
Caution.
Well, that's his third one.
I've seen that happen now 2 times this season. I usually don't see that many.
No. And that makes it 6-2 with 1:14 to go. Becker being extra careful here, John, because he's wrestled Lehman twice this year. Lehman knows all of his moves, I'm sure, by now. You know, familiarity breeds that contempt. He lost to him in overtime one time, and he lost 5-1 the other time. So they've had some tough matches. And, you know, basically, other than one lopsided loss to Tenuta of Collingswood, Lehman's been in a lot of matches. 6-4 loss, 4-3 loss, 4-2, 2-3-2.
He's only a freshman.
And he's a freshman.
You kept hearing a lot about Paulsboro with the 6-7 freshman, but Kingsway only loses about 3 wrestlers.
Right. And Lehman played a big role in the dual meet win by Kingsway.
Right, because he had that big win against Jesse Thorne.
Had the big pin, and then Jesse had just, of course, had come off that big win over West Effort, where he had the win over John White, who was a district and regional champion for West Effort last year, no longer the team this year. Maybe back next year. Jesse Thorne was a big factor in the win, Paulsborough's win over West Effort to keep their Colonial Conference streak intact for 26 consecutive years. And of course, Gary Lehman played a big role, as you see Mike McConville on the right, Guy Davidson on the left. Played a big role in the Kingsway's win over Paulsboro.
By the way, got my Kingsway Regional High School wrestling shirt today. All the Kingsway wrestlers are wearing them, the black t-shirts.
Yes.
Nice of them to give me one.
They
honorary member of the club.
Don't you live in the township?
Yes, I do. You know, so far this year, here's what I've collected. I've gotten a couple Paulsboro wrestling shirts, a West Effort girls soccer shirt, now a West Effort or a Kingsway wrestling shirt. Not doing too bad.
Not at all. 15 seconds to go. Robert Becker clearly in charge. 6-2 over freshman Gary Lehman of Kingsway.
Of course, Becker's big win this year to start off the season had a big win against John White in the Christmas or a holiday tournament, and he's now a District 29 champion at 112 pounds.
Very well done, too.
So far, a couple #1 seeds winning. We mentioned some of the sponsors. I want to get into that. Pools and Spas by Van Bro. Of course, the Van Bro name big in wrestling, and they're helping us out sponsor this. So you'll see their commercial a couple times, 2 or 3 times throughout the evening. Visit them, 660 Woodbury Glassboro Road in Sewell. Pool supplies, indoor pools, above ground pools. Looking for a pool. Visit Mike Van Bro and friends over at Pools and Spas by Van Bro. And we're getting ready for 119 pounds by the do the award ceremony for 103.
And the Board of Education president for Paulsboro High School, the host of this tournament, even though it's at Gloucester County College, Mrs. Rita Kelly is presenting the medals and just gave little Matt Hunkler, whose shyness abounds, a little hug and a little peck on the cheek there.
Well, Vogue, there's no secret. 119, the toughest weight class in District 29. One of these guys was not going to go to regions. It turns out that it's Demian Green.
Right.
But
who was a former district champion, a runner-up, and my goodness, what a tournament. Jason Mercado, number 4 seed, went overtime to beat Mike, previously undefeated Mike Zeckman of Woodbury, 7-5 in the semifinals today after Zeckman had advanced with a 17-second pin over Cameron Champion of Clearview. Jason Mercado advanced with a 7-1 win over Steve Stetson. There's not a bad wrestler. Steve Stetson and West Effort gets nothing out of this tournament. Mercado beat him Friday night. Demian Green advanced with a 17-6 win over Chris Stockdale of Glassboro, and then lost to Vallejo 7-5. Vallejo advanced with a pin over Corey Good of Clayton.
Every year there's always a weight class where somebody loses out. But this year, I mean, it's unbelievable how loaded this weight class was.
Look at this. Look at the scores. Vallejo beats on a 5-point move in the with about a minute left. He took a 7-2 lead. He wins 7-5. Vallejo does over Demian Green, as you see a takedown by Mercado. Mike Zeckman who was losing 5-1 to Jason Mercado, comes back and ties it up on a stalling point with about 15 seconds left in regulation. He got a takedown 32 seconds into overtime to beat Mike Zeckman. Zeckman come back and beat Demian Green 8-6 for third place. Demian Green, a junior Paulsboro, will not make the trip to Absegami.
And he was a region champ, what, his freshman year?
Yeah.
2-0. Mercado leads Vallejo. 1:05 left first period. And Vallejo is out.
Of course, Zeckman in 94 was the Region 8 champion. Did not place in 95, was third in 96. Demian Green was a 102-pound champion. Beat that Tom Storer of Highland in 95. And of course, he was second last year to Todd Trampay of Delsey in Region 8. He got pinned in 4:51 on one of the quickest pins I've ever seen by the official working right now, Orville Wilson. Orville Wilson, a Salem High School graduate. He's a principal of Riverside High School. I think when we were on the air earlier, we had him on a match. I think I
Kingsway Paulsboro.
Yeah, I think I anointed him principal of Palmyra High School. I stand corrected. It's Riverside High School. Anyway, there was a kind of a quick pin, often talked about. The assistant official in this match is the venerable Roy Fenimore.
We have a microphone on Roy. I guess he'll be out there the next couple.
Yeah, Roy Fenimore, of course, is the athletic director of Williamstown. You see Vallejo get in deep on a single on Mercado.
Trying to fight it off.
Boy, I am impressed with Vallejo this year, John. I'm telling you. The little hammer from Kingsway has had quite a year. He's got 4 losses, but look who they're 2. Lost to Zeckman. Now you got a 2-point takedown call right on the line. Good call.
At least the Kingsway people think so. The Pittman people, I don't think. Good call. Don't quite agree with that.
That makes it 3-2 after one period. Vallejo lost to Zeckman 3-0. He lost to Jason Gardner of West Deptford 4-2. He lost to Matt Minnix of Gloucester Catholic 3-2. They were all undefeated until recently.
Minnix lost by a point to Nathan Martyr, who only has 1 loss.
Right, of Riverside, who Dominic Cannon beat in the Group 1 tournament. And then he lost to Panzarella of South Plainfield 6-5. So Vallejo is a tenacious wrestler, 75 wins in his career. Jason Mercado, both of them are juniors. Jason is 62-16. He was first in the district last year, 4th the year before. He was 4th in the regions last year. Of course, Andy has been 3rd 2 times in Region 8.
As we see the crowd over on the Kingsway side, 3-2.
And how's this for a favorite pastime? The Hammer likes picking up lumber with his father, who has the lumber yard.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. He's another one of our sponsors.
Jason Mercado says watching sports on TV, spending time with his family, running our favorite pastimes, and he's not shabby. He's a member of the National Honor Society. We had a quick glance there of Wayne Rochelle II, the new coach at Pittman High School this year.
Mercado, the aggressor this time. They're still neutral.
This Wayne Rochelle being assisted by George Maxwell. There's a name from the past who wrestled at Buena High School.
I got that. I bet you I shocked you with that one.
Yes, you did. 3-2, Andy Vallejo winning. I like some of these nicknames. Adam Reed from West Deptford is Spike. Jim Record from Kingsway had the medical default for 3rd place tonight, Barnyard. And here's Andy the Hammer Vallejo. Daddy was a pretty fair wrestler in his day, 2-time state champion for Deptford High School.
I think I could take him now.
An All-American at Penn State University. Well, John, you have frightened many people in your time.
I'm going to tell him afterwards. I'll have an exhibition match with him. I told about 3 people that so far today I won him.
And what are you going to do? Tie both his hands behind his back and attach him to one leg and make him wrestle you one-legged?
I could run. I can run.
But he could probably hop faster than you can run.
I've been in training. 3-2 still. 35 seconds left.
Kind of a match you expected here. A very defensive type match.
Well, and you saw Vallejo's losses, all low scoring.
All low scoring. And of course, Mercado lost to Minnix 4-2 in overtime. He lost to Todd Trampay 8-6, which is how people might say, how can Jason Mercado, defending a returning champion, get seated 4th in this weight class? Well, the denominator was Todd Trampay. Mercado lost to him Demian Green beat Trampe. Andy Vallejo pinned Trampe, and Vallejo beat Green. So it was a no-brainer. Zekman number 1, Vallejo number 2, Green number 3, and Mercado number 4. But Mercado's saying the heck with these seated positions.
Sure.
I'm the defending champ. Let me go after it.
He's been in that position before. He was there last year.
Yes, he was.
We're through 2. It's 3-2, Andy Vallejo. You look at Jason Mercado.
Andy's choice this period. He takes the defensive position, and he's going to try and get out and add to his 3-2 lead. Mercado helps him, gives him the intentional escape.
Or Chisholm, Mercado's going to need a takedown at some point.
You gotta let him go, you gotta take him down.
Happy to use that Virginia line on me again, are you?
Cut him, son. We've seen Andy Vallejo wrestle for 3 years now, and I'll tell you what, he is a tough, tough wrestler to take down. He's tough on his feet, and he's tough when he's on top.
I think the Kingsway wrestlers all this season, all the Kingsway wrestlers were tough on their feet.
They were. They put on kind of a clinic against Paulsburg at dual meet. Many of them did.
And we'll stay neutral with 1:25 left, third period.
The Hammer has mat savvy, John.
Still plenty of time. When do you start changing your game plan if you're Mercado?
Well, Mercado's got to get a takedown, obviously, just to tie it up. I think he's got to put just a little bit more pressure on, maybe get from side to side, maybe sweep for the single. Vallejo's very good blocking inside. I don't know if I'd want to come inside on Vallejo, but yeah, Vallejo has very good reaction, too. He's got very good mat sense out there, very good mat awareness.
Doing the same thing.
Started him up again, 1:07 left.
By the way, I want to publicly say I got just a wonderful, beautiful card from Diane Vallejo, who is the Hammer's mom, Jerry's wife. Very complimentary about the Comcast broadcast, and appreciate the kind words.
Oh, that was very nice to hear.
Coming up on 45 seconds, Andy Vallejo is winning 3-2.
Stalemate.
Andy Vallejo, third in the district, as a freshman in as a sophomore in 96. Second as a freshman. Like nothing better to have a gold medal out of this district. Coming up on 30 seconds.
Which would be quite an accomplishment, as we talked about being, since this is a strong weight class.
Well, the survivor of this weight class had to come out bloody and bruised, and these guys have taken turns hammering each other. How fitting it would be for the Hammer to win.
Now the Kingsway fans start to get on their feet. Final 25 seconds. Mercado, they tie each other up again. They have a stall.
Warning
on Vallejo. That's just a warning.
Well,
they can afford that at this time anyway.
Oh, yes, you can. And he can afford a point. You got a caution on Mercado. In the dual meet, Vallejo was hit for a stalling goal by Irma Wilson, and then came back and took Demian Green down. That was the deciding points in a 1-point win.
Down to 6 seconds.
Seconds to go.
Vallejo 5 seconds from his first district title. And he's going to hold on and get it.
It is.
4-2 win, Andy Vallejo of Kingsway. And we'll take a break. We'll be back with more District 29 Wrestling after this timeout. Back at Gloucester County College, crowd still loud, very loud after that win by Andy Vallejo. I don't know if you noticed, Vallejo gave a nice little wink to the Paulsburg crowd after that win.
Well, let me tell you something. I enjoy watching wrestling. I enjoy watching two good wrestlers out there like that. The people may have been upset that what they thought Andy Blecko was stalling at the end. He was stalling at the end. There's no doubt he was stalling at the end. He had a 4-2 lead. He could afford to stall. Hey, it's tournament wrestling. We get that W any way you can.
Absolutely.
He was third. He was second. Now he's first. They can boo all they want. He's the champ.
I still remember Joe Mercury when he won his third title at Highland when the crowd booed. Hey.
How can you boo youngsters that go out there and make their sacrifices they have with weight control, conditioning, hard work? You don't boo them.
Okay, 125 pounds.
Look at center. Look at center.
And there's Roy Fenimore. We hear him. Jason Gardner, undefeated of West Deptford, against Billy Gibbs, the freshman, coming out of nowhere.
Roy Fenimore,
Clearview.
as you mentioned, Roy Fenimore is the main official on the mat. Chris Under is the assistant. Jason Gardner, what a storybook year, 24-0. He has not lost. He's got 81 wins in his career. He wants to attend college and wrestle, and he likes riding motorcycles.
And tattoos.
And tattoos. We talked about that before. Over $200 worth, John, did you say?
700, Bose.
Oh, 700. Billy Gibbs, of course, the freshman from Clearview, 20-6 in his career and this year. His loss this year to Dean Jones of Mainland, not a bad wrestler. Matt Minnix of Gloucester Catholic, undefeated until just recently. Jason Gardner, who is wrestling right now, 5-2. Jason Mercado, who was second at 119. Andy Vallejo in double overtime, the champion, and Todd Trampe of Delsey. Not bad losses at all.
Now, we saw the match against Trampe and Delsey. Gibbs wrestled well in that match.
You know, Billy Gibbs, 6 losses. People may look at that and say, oh boy, you know, not much of a shot there with 6 losses. But he certainly is a wrestler to be reckoned with in the future.
All right, we got our cable man fixing our monitor. Monitor went out.
I hope the people at home.
There we go.
I was gonna say, hope they weren't seeing what we were seeing. 0-0 after one.
Choice. Red defers to you. Green takes defense.
I think we heard that pretty
You
clearly.
get set, Green.
Gardner takes the bottle.
Take it down.
Jason Gardner, the number 1 seed in his weight class. He
On top.
pinned Matt Bush of Gateway in a minute 18. He beat Gary Mendenhall
Take it
of
down,
Paulsboro
Red. Take it
6-4. Billy Gibbs, the number 3 seed, beat Jason Griscom of Kingsway with a pin in 5:06. He decisioned Steve Felder of Woodbury 8-2 as you see a reversal. Steve Felder won his 23rd match in the consolation match. The Woodbury wrestler beat Gary Mendenhall of Paulsboro 4-2. And Steve Felder will wrestle on Wednesday night at Apsagami.
And Jason Gardner with the reverse 2-0 lead.
Near side cradle attempt. No, not even a cradle attempt. Got him around the head. Awful high. Gibbs will be able to slip out of this. Gardner throws the half. Won't let him slip out of it.
Work it, work it.
And they'll go back to the center. Scoreless first period, a reverse by Gardner in the second. He leads 2-0.
Here he comes. Okay, Green.
Jason Gardner, of course, a senior. Billy Gibbs, a freshman. And John, that translates into some pretty tough differential there, because you're talking about 3 years mental and physical maturity of one wrestler over the other. West Deptford, of course, this year coached by Brian Farnham, the first-year head coach, former Haddon Township and Virginia wrestler. Guy Davidson, no, excuse me, not Guy Davidson.
Wayne Rochelle?
No,
Greg Lay,
yeah,
Kevin
Greg
Farnham?
Lay, former
Yeah, Greg
Gateway
Lay.
wrestler. Drew a blank here for
We'll
a
get
second.
that.
Greg Lay, the assistant coach. Of course, we talked about John Marinelli, the Clearview coach. He was coached by Gene Barber at Apsagami. And Billy Chiaffi, the former great wrestler at Gloucester High School, the assistant.
Chiaffi was on those Gloucester teams when they used to battle Paulsboro back then in Group 1.
Did they ever? Some great memories there. Every time you see Billy Chiaffi, you think about the great Paulsboro-Glassboro Group 1 matchups. And of course, seeing Brian Farnham sitting in the West Deptford corner reminds you of the years when it was Paulsboro, Haddon Township, 1-2 in the Colonial. Things have changed a little bit. West Deptford's been a dominant team the last couple of years. And how about Audubon this year? As we see an injury time out here. You know, the other night I saw Gardner get wrapped around the rib. He must have sore ribs because he got wrapped.
Yeah, he was wrapped. They unwrapped him actually in the semifinals. I guess it was bothering him. They just took the wrap off. Which gives us a chance to remind people about some of our sponsors. We talked about Andy Vallejo and his love for lumber. Well, visit Gloucester Lumber. Jerry Vallejo, the owner of that establishment. Actually, they're now in the kitchen, so if you want to get your kitchen redone. Gloucester Lumber, Dulcie Drive, Maple Leaf Court, Gloucester, 881-9124. You'll see their spot throughout the evening. Nice little segue there, right?
Yes. You know what I could use from Gloucester Lumber? I could use some new few pieces of paneling in my kitchen. My Labrador Retriever Blazer is still a puppy, and he loves to chew.
Now, I don't think Mrs. Vallejo can put a stamp on a piece of panel and put that in the mail, Village. You're out of luck.
Bring it down, baby. Now work.
28 seconds, and Gibbs, did he get out? He gets the one.
1 point escape.
Gibbs never quit on the bottom. 18 seconds left in the second. He trails by just a point, 2-1.
Jason Gardner was mentioned when we went to the introductions at the beginning. A four-time District 29 finalist. Second as a freshman, second as a junior. Second as a freshman, second as a sophomore, first as a junior.
We have a discussion here. Barnum's not too happy. He's fighting for the 2. He got the 2. That's the officials working together there.
Well, that's true. That's true. They consulted first.
That takes defense.
And that was big 2 points at the end of the period.
Because it is now
4-1 as we start period number 3.
Right. Well, as I mentioned in that flurry, Gardner, a four-time district finalist, was the champ last year. Also was a Region 8 champ last year.
One of 4 West Deptford wrestlers last year to win the region title.
Great year. Escape by Billy Gibbs. Billy Gibbs, for a freshman, is showing no fear, John.
No, it's 4-2. He's still in there. He's a takedown away from tying this match. Of course, he's had trouble taking Gardner down so far, and Gardner's in once again. He's being aggressive. Gibbs fighting it off.
Well, and this is a big match for third place, too, because Clearview, with their win earlier by Robert Becker, had moved into third place with 116 points. If West Deptford wins this one, they move back into third place.
Gardner appears injured again. Well, we have a lot of wrestling coming up here on Comcast, not just on channel 39/43 where we are now. Of course, next week we'll have the regions right here. And then, of course, while you guys are in Amsterdam, I'll be at the Palestra doing the EIWAs and a lot of familiar wrestlers to South Jersey wrestling fans wrestling there, right, Boj?
As I pointed out in today's notebook in the Courier Post, EIWA, of course, is Eastern Intercollegiate Wrestling Association, and that's a qualifier for the Nationals. The top 2 in every weight class there move on to the Nationals along with some wild cards. And we have a couple of wrestlers at Penn, the Motter brothers from Delran are competing. We talked about Justin Hurst and John Forster, 2 wrestlers at Rutgers University will be there. Mike Safara from Shawnee will be there. Cook, the former heavyweight from Millville, will be there. Yeah, we'll have some good representation.
And that'll be on next week, Channel 31, the Comcast Network. Of course, the network's also bringing you coverage of the NJSIAA State Championships, individual championships from Atlantic City after we conclude our coverage with the region. So that'll be on the Comcast Network, Channel 31.
104 remaining in the third period. 4-2, Jason Gardner leading Billy Gibbs. Definitely not a 100% Jason Gardner, not to take a thing away from Billy Gibbs, but Gardner is definitely hurting a little bit. Nice high crotch series, duck under try.
Gibbs is very physical, but he can't seem to take Gardner down. And we have a
Stay on that line, don't take break. Back.
final 43 seconds. Maybe.
Candid comment from the referee saying they'd like to stay on that line. Wrestle in the middle. Getting down to the last 30 seconds in the match. Jason Gardner with a 2-point lead. Oh my, just missed that.
Last one.
This is his last injury timeout. He can't take another one.
And what you get, John, you get 3 injury timeouts for a total of 2 minutes.
The last one's 3 injury time.
You exceed the 2 minutes, you must default if you exceed 3 injury timeouts.
Let's go, son. Yeah, no more injury time.
No more injury time, no more injury timeouts. 25 seconds left in the match. Billy Gibbs has to put the pressure on here, John.
And that carries over into overtime if there is overtime, right, Vogt?
Yes.
Gardner is strong.
Doing what he has to do. Keeping the pressure on, blocking like he has to block. Countering. West Deptford warned for stalling.
7 seconds left. Gonna try for the throw
For the headlock.
and he'll get caught.
Oh my, oh brother.
No points. Gardner will win it 4-2.
Good job, guys.
Oh brother.
At 125 pounds, Jason Gardner.
Great match.
How about that?
And the awards in
Jason Gardner, a champion again.
Third place, Mike Sackman, Woodbury.
Gives us a chance to
Runner-up
mention,
from Pittman
another one of
High
our
School,
sponsors,
Jason
Cross Run
Mercado.
Autos in Paulsboro, 438 West Broad Street. Their number 423-5000. Auto repairs, rent a car, buy a car. Visit the friends at Cross Run Auto. Go visit Jack. I'll be sure and help you out. Cross Run Auto, you'll be seeing their commercial, as I said, throughout tonight's wrestling match. As we get ready for 130 pounds. This is a rematch, I think, of last year's final, right, Vogt?
Yes, it certainly is, John. Last year in District 29 at 125 pounds, Kevin Van Brill, Marvin Hamilton Jr. hook up in a real slugfest. Hamilton actually had the lead in that one. Ended up getting caught, got pinned at 5:04. And the sparks will fly in this one, John. Number 1 seed, Kevin Van Brill, 26-0 this year. 115 wins, 10 losses in his career. Can make a little history tonight by joining 26 other previous 4-time district champions. Out of bounds.
Still neutral.
3 times Kevin Van Brill's been a district champion. He was 3rd in the regions last year, 1st in the region the year before, 2nd year before that. Marvin Hamilton Jr. with 79 career wins going into this bout. Was 2nd in the districts last year, 3rd in the districts as a freshman.
Okay, and Vogt, what's the wrap on his hand?
Wrap on his hand, John, is he broke a knuckle in a non-wrestling related incident. That was before the South Jersey Group Finals. He has it wrapped, it's healing, but it's got to be a little painful.
And this is a battle of 2 of the most popular wrestling families in South Jersey history.
That's without a doubt, John. That's the matchup of the Hamiltons and the Van Brills. And of course, over the years, there have been some great ones in those 2 families.
No control, still neutral.
Marvin Hamilton, of course, the father of Marvin Jr. He was a former 2-time district champion. You had Tyrone Hamilton, you had Jeff Hamilton.
Of course, Kevin, a state place winner last year.
Right. And of course, he's the son of Bobby Van Brill, was a great wrestler back in his day at Gateway High School. His brother Hans was an excellent wrestler.
Nice little move by Hamilton.
Nice move, nice move. But he's gonna have Van Brill. Van Brill's gonna fight
Van Brill
it.
got it.
He's gonna fight it.
Still no control.
Oh, brother.
Great move by Van Brill to fight this one off, and has
Oh my.
Hamilton in a little bit of trouble.
Brother.
Still no takedown awarded though.
Oh my.
a takedown and back
He
points.
got back point count.
5-point move.
Same cradle he got Hamilton with last year.
So we finished the period 5-0. Marvin Hamilton leading Kevin 4-0. Only got 2.
Yo, it ain't over, baby. It ain't over here. Stop, man, stop.
Vanbrugh, of course, no losses this year. Hamilton lost to R.J. Davis of Cox, Virginia, 13-11 in the semifinals of the Deep Creek tournament. Lost to Paul Hess of Absegami, 9-5. A 1995 District 31 champion. Lost to him in a dual meet. Those are the only 2 blemishes out of 28 matches this year for Hamilton.
That was a great move by Vanbrugh to get those points because he appeared to be in trouble originally when the move first started.
Almost a throwback to last year, John. Talking about the Hamiltons and the championships. Marvin Hamilton, a district champion in 66 and 67. Tyrone, a champion in 71, 72, 73. Jeff, a champion in 73, 74, 75, and 76. And Brian, a champion in 78 and 79. Among the Vanbrughs, Bobby, a champion in 68, Hans, a champion in 69 and 71. Nephew Greg Vanbrugh wrestled at Clearview, a champion in 86 and 87. And of course, Kevin can get his 4th district championship tonight. They have 8 in the family. Hamiltons have 11 in the family. So it's Gloucester County bragging rights.
Of course, Greg also won a state championship.
Yes, he did.
And a national championship here at Gloucester County College.
Or the Roadrunners, yes. Vanbrugh advanced to the finals by pinning Eric Brody of Glassboro in 31 seconds. He pinned Chuck Adair of Woodbury at 5:25. Hamilton had a 3:28 fall against Nicky Rue of Pittman. He won by major decision, 16-5 over Ricky Kelly of Kingsway. Ricky Kelly is going to the regionals with a 13-10 win over Chuck Adair of Woodbury.
35 seconds left in period number 2. Vanbrugh leads 4-0 as he searches for his 4th District 29 title. And he gets the takedown. 6-0. And we'll have a timeout. Blood. Something we've seen a lot of today. I think when Vanbrugh wrestles, he goes out there, I don't think he's intimidated by anyone.
No one. No one. Yeah, he's got a strong family background. He's got a strong district experience. You're a 3-time champion. You know what to expect out there. You walk in as a 3-time champion plus an undefeated season, you really know what you're into. Going to join some elite company, John. Very first, by the way, 4-time district champion in South Jersey history was Jerry Vallejo, whose son won a district championship tonight. Jerry, a champion in 69, 70, 71, and 72. Other 4-time district champions in South Jersey, Palmer Marino of Paulsboro, Jeff Hamilton of Paulsboro, Jeff Webb of Maple Shade, Dougie Taylor of Millville, Mark Sanders of Lenape, Joey Melchiori of Highland, Michael Lamb of Highland, who's the coach here at Gloucester County College now that Chuck Williamson is recovering from double knee replacement. Wayne Rochelle, the athletic director at Pittman, his son, who was the coach this year. Wayne Rochelle II, a 4-time champion. Others, Todd Young of Haddon Township, Joey Masker of Oakcrest, Adam Miller of Paulsboro, Scott Goodale of Jackson, Patrick Lynch of Ocean City, Rob Johnson of Jackson, Larry DeVol of Paulsboro, Johnny Martin of Absegami, Michael Ware of Oakcrest, Jim Dively of Highland, Kevin Farnham of Haddon Township, Brian Farnham's brother, who's in college now, Greg Rhyme of Delsey, Matt Suter of Paulsboro, Brian Lewis of Highland, Brett Motter of Delran, Bobby Hanson of Buna, and Aaron Taylor of Camden Catholic. Quite some company.
Keep your head up, man. Keep your head up.
Okay, final 2 minutes, barring overtime. 2-0, Vanbrugh leads. Hamilton starts on the bottom, and he gets out on the escape.
6-0 is the score. Now it's 6-1.
It's funny, we have the Vanbrughs to the right of us,
Yep.
and we have the Hamiltons to the left and behind us.
Yes.
which takes up most of the gym.
And you know, standing room only tonight. It's just a wonderful sight to see. Scholastic wrestling. I've whined a few times that I think it's going downhill. And if you see tonight in here, you would say that's not the truth. I still say 14 weight classes are too many.
123 left.
Hamilton's at his best, John, when he is getting from side to side, getting out the outside sweeps, the quick duck unders. Van Brill is shorter and very strong, very, very hard to sneak up on. He's the experienced wrestler. Hamilton's experienced too. Van Brill, three-time district champion, three-time regional place winner. There's a lot of savviness there.
Come on, man, you gotta go.
Okay, 1 minute left. Well, he's going to have to think something quick in the line of a throw or something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with a 5-point deficit, he needs a big throw. He needs to try and take a throw right to the back. He's got to do it before it gets too late in order to get a 5-point call out of it. It's virtually impossible against a caliber wrestler like Van Brill.
Something sort of to the way we saw like Matt Suter and Kip Covington.
Yes. Is that ever a thrower? Van Brill in tight.
Gets the takedown.
Go!
Now 8-2. Hamilton gets the escape.
With less than 30 seconds in running, so it doesn't look good. Van Brill can afford at this point to put the pressure on and counter a takedown attempt. 15 seconds to go. Clearly in charge. Calls for a takedown. Makes it 8-4. With 8 seconds to go. Van Brill, like any tournament wrestler, just doesn't want to make a crucial mistake at this point with 8 seconds to go. If not, his name gets etched in history forever with his 4th consecutive district wrestling championship. Chico over there is smiling from ear to ear, knowing that there's 8 seconds to go before a little history is made.
I'm gonna admit, Kevin is one of the most animated wrestlers I've ever seen, though.
Yep.
And it's gonna end there, 8-4. 4th district title for Kevin Van Brill.
A little bit of history.
We're gonna take a break. We'll be back with the 135-pound weight class after this. Back at Gloucester County College as we get ready for 135 pounds. John Voge, one of our other sponsors, I'll let you talk about them, the South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Very proud to be associated with the Wrestling Hall of Fame, John. We've been going since 1980. We have a banquet every year honoring former great wrestlers, coaches, and contributors to the sport. We're looking for another banner year this year. The induction banquet is always in November. It's at Degenhardt up in Mount Ephraim. First Saturday in November, and we're looking forward to it again this year. South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Okay, 135 pounds, the number 1 seed out of Kingsway, Kevin Logue. This is where we get number 1 seed against number 2 seed.
Kevin Logue, of course, 21-4 this year. His losses to Dave Castellini of Buna, 10-3. He lost to Larry Smashy of Delsey by fall. He lost to Kevin Van Brill, champion we just crowned, 11-4. Lost to Keith Bunicott of Patcon, 7-3. Those are the 4 losses for Kevin Logue. Zach Bush, Jr., 24-1. His only loss was to Hamilton of Paulsboro, who we just saw lose in the final to Kevin Van Brill. He got pinned. Zach Bush has not lost since. He was 2nd in the districts last year, 4th in the districts as a freshman. Kevin Logue, a 3-time district finalist. Zach Bush likes being with his friends and fishing. Kevin Logue likes studying and helping others with homework. They're both juniors and will be back again next year. Zach Bush.
Oh, a major, nice move by Logue. Gets a takedown and almost has Bush in a little trouble. Bush had a tough match this afternoon against Cam of Paulsboro. And actually, Logue was in a dogfight.
Well, they both were this afternoon. Kevin Logue, the number 1 seed, advanced with a 244 pin over Brian DeRico of Clayton. Then he advanced with a 5-4 nail-biter against Pat Gremmel of Deptford. Zach Bush had a fall against Steve Bianco of Glassboro, 53 seconds. Then he beat Dominic Kama 3-2. Dominic Kama, the outstanding freshman from Paulsboro, as we see an escape. DJ, Dominic Kama, came back for a 9-3 win over Pat Gremmel of Deptford. He will go to Absegami as the 3rd placer here. 24 wins in his freshman year, quite an accomplishment. He won 9-3 over Pat Gremmel and will be in Absegami wrestling on Wednesday night.
Okay, Zach Bush, of course, not much. You don't hear much about when a wrestler's on a program that struggles or doesn't quite have the numbers. You don't hear much about the kids, but you know, Bush is a kid that's had a good career.
He has had a good career. And his father was quite an athlete at Gloucester State, a baseball player.
He knows a little bit about baseball, isn't he? Washington Township.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Zach is the wrestler in the family. Matt is the baseball player in the family. Closing in on the end of this period. 2-1 lead for Kevin Logue.
It's the end of the first period. 2-1 Logue of the Kingsway with the lead. And I think they turned the heat on in here.
There's John Giovanetti mugging for the camera.
Yeah, how much did he pay to get that shot on, huh?
I'd say that had to, well, he doesn't pay for anything. He won't even pay for a meal ticket. So I'm sure he didn't bribe anybody to get on.
You know, it's funny. Every match, he goes, "Come to the Suns." He wants me to buy him beer and sandwiches. I think he wants me to pay.
I'll tell you what, when he opens his wallet, that's not one wallet that flies out. It's about a half a dozen that fly out.
Yeah, he handed a candy bar to our cameraman. So there you go. I just saw that. I think it cost Giovanetti a Milky Way or a Three Musketeers.
He probably borrowed that from somebody. There's an escape. Semi-intentional. Ties it up at 2-2. Zach Bush is a tenacious. Look at this, in deep.
Got the takedown.
Gets the takedown.
So Bush with the lead, 4-2. And I'll tell you what, great wrestler. And I'll tell you what, best uniforms in the tournament, Gateway.
Let me tell you something, John.
You're agreeing with me, right?
I agree with you.
Nicer than that jacket you have, the Comcast jacket.
Yes, much better than that Comcast jacket. Dave Brown is the veteran coach at Gateway High School and heard something very, very sad this evening. It sounds like it's going to be Dave Brown's last year as the head coach of Gateway. Seems as though he's going to be giving up his coaching duties at Gateway, not only in wrestling, but also in football. We're going to miss him. The sport's going to miss him. He's been a head coach for 15 years, involved as a coach 17 years, has over 100 wins at Gateway High School, one of the gentlemen of the sport. He is the senior coach in this tournament. He has 15 years in, Paul Marina 12 years. Dave Brown, the graduate of Audubon High School and Westchester University, 1975 at Audubon, 79 at Westchester. He's assisted by John Howard, whose son's wrestling in this tournament, and Chuck Lucas. And Dave Brown was an assistant for 2 years, John. It was under John Howard.
Of course, anybody who doesn't appreciate a job a coach does, I probably don't think has ever been a coach. The time that goes into being a coach, unbelievable, especially on this level.
There's no doubt about it. And when you have a coach who hasn't had some really great material over the years, he's not been blessed with a lot of great athletes at Davis. But he's been blessed with a lot of great athletes, some that have had not quite as much talent as other schools. And to hang in like he's hung in and always have that smile on his face that he always has, he's just a credit to not only to the sport, but a credit to high school coaching. We're going to miss him. Zach Bush. His dad ought to be around somewhere with his video camera. He follows him all around, takes his videos.
50 seconds left in the second period. Bush with the 4-2 lead.
Who could ever forget the tandem at Glassboro State that John Bush and Wayne Harris formed in their playing days.
I could forget. Probably wasn't around, Vogue. Because you're dating yourself. No.
Got a warning on Kevin Logue. The official Joe Henry has just called a stalling warning. Last 15 seconds of the second period. Zachary Bush. I guess Zachary's his first name. I always see it as Zach. I would presume it's Zachary officially. Just like Blazer's name, my dog is really Baron Blazer of Billingsport. Did you know that?
No, I'm not.
Pedigree. My wife calls him a mutt, but he's pedigree.
All the animal lovers will hate me. I'm not a pro dog or cat.
You know who Baron Blazer's godfather is, don't you?
I don't know.
Paul Marina.
Paul Marina. Okay.
Paul and Sandy had Coco. Was Baron Blazer's mother. So Paul Marina's the godfather.
I won't say anything there. No comment there.
Almost a reversal. Probably going to be an escape. No, a reversal, complete reversal.
Got it.
We got a complete reversal right at the buzzer.
4-4 after 2. Logue appears to have hurt his elbow.
And walked right off the mat, which could have cost him a point. You've got to ask permission to go off the mat. Now their injury time has started. Now he can be treated by the trainer, but he just walked right off the mat into the corner. Very lucky to get with a point for that.
And you see Logue. Of course, when we're talking about Bush and we're talking about Gateway. Gateway's had some pretty good wrestlers in their day. The Rizzos, pretty good wrestlers.
Without a doubt.
And a quick plug for somebody I work with. I shouldn't say I work with. I know from Comcast. Who works at Comcast? Because I don't want to be associated with him. Mark White.
Oh, brother.
The runner-up in the state 1 year.
Mark with a C, M-A-R-C.
Yeah, great guy.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I saw Mark the other day. I was asking him how many lights were on the ceiling in Princeton. But as I said to him, there's a lot of people who love to get in that situation.
Absolutely. To even have gotten that far to wrestle on the mats at Princeton in the state championships when they were held there.
But here's my quick Mark White plug for him, and of course, he's trying to get me to get his dog into a commercial. I don't know. Now I heard about your dog, Boge. I don't know. Okay, 4-4, starting the third.
And it's going to be tough now because Kingsway's on the bottom. Zach has got his work cut out, Zach Bush.
It'll appear that Bush is going to have to take him down then at least one time this period because I don't think he'd be able to ride him out, but we'll see.
Very, very difficult anymore in this day and age to ride somebody for a full 2 minutes, although we have seen it happen.
It happened a couple times this afternoon, I know.
Yes.
We saw Vallejo do it against Demian Green. I guess the question, Doge, is if you're Bush, I mean, do you try it? I mean, is there a... You know what I'm going to ask you? Should he let him go at one point? Is there a point, or if he just feels so confident that he can keep him there?
My God, I think he's got to feel how long he goes into the match, right? And if he feels confident he can ride him, then he can ride him out. They've each had a takedown, so they're both capable of taking down each other.
There is a stall warning against Logue.
Yes.
Of course, he's got to watch, too. He's got to be working for a pin.
No, Zach Bush is the man on top. He can't ride parallel. He's got to make the attempt. And it reaches a certain point where you just don't want to let him go because you run out of time in trying to take him down.
Exactly, and that's why I asked you to let him go right away. Here's a stalemate, 106. So I would imagine now he's just going to try and keep him down.
Well, 106 to go. I mean, if he's going to let him go, he's got to do it soon. He got a caution here from somebody.
Caution on Kingsway.
And of course, if there is no more scoring, it ends up 4-4, goes overtime, and you'll have a 2-minute overtime period of sudden death. If that doesn't end, we'll see a 30-second tiebreaker. We've seen that a couple times in this tournament.
Yeah, I like the 30-second one best.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Almost a loss of control, almost. Not quite.
Kept it.
Bush,
44 seconds left.
very, very alert to spin behind in that. He was out almost face to face with Kevin Logue. Didn't give it up. Nail biting time.
Under 40 seconds left. Oh, nice move by Logue. Beautiful. Got the reversal.
32 seconds to go.
6-4, 30 seconds left.
Oh, brother.
Great tournament for Kingsway so far.
Absolutely. Now, what do you do here? Do you try and ride him in 30 seconds, or do you let him go? And you get a falling warning against it, so if you let him go,
I think the thing you try and do is you try and hold him down. If it looks like he's going to try and get out, you're in a little trouble. Let him go. Don't give up the 2.
that's correct. Give him 1, not 2.
It's all that wrestling experience I have, Village.
24 seconds to go. There's a roll through.
got the
There's an
escape.
escape.
Oh, Bush will go for the
Pressure
takedown.
has to be put on. 12 seconds remaining, and of course when the pressure's on like that, the ball is in Logue's court. He can counter at this point.
I think he's asking for a little injury time, his elbow again. Of course, Logue cannot back up, too. He's got to be aggressive. He's got the warning. There you see Dave Brown. Of course, Kingsway, or Gateway, also with a new football coach, I guess, coming in this year.
That's true. Ricketts stepped down. Sorry to see that. He's another gentleman of renown in the South Jersey football annals. Longtime Gateway coach.
And there's Kevin Logue, Condell, and Guy Davidson. Of course, a wrestler cannot be coached during an injury timeout, or the wrestler that's injured, I should say.
Which is why you see the officials over there, Joe Henry and Orville Wilson.
I think it should go by the honor system. I don't think they cheat. Here we go. Final 10 seconds should be interesting. Bush doing his best. He's in. Nope. Hold on. And Kevin Logue will win a district title. 6-5.
Unbelievable.
Great match. And you can tell it was going to be a great match from the beginning just by all the scores, John. Just the way the semis went. Very competitive break class.
Yes, it was. Well, John, I'll tell you, that's the second champion for Kingsway.
As we see some of the recipients getting honored.
Yes.
From 130 pounds. There's Marvin Hamilton will walk into the shot right now to receive his second place award. And coming into the shot, Kevin Van Brildo, 4-time district champion, as he wins at 130 pounds. There we go. Nice little shot.
Little winkaroo for us.
As we move to 140 pounds.
140 pounds, Mike Clancy of West Deptford and Donnie Reed of Kingsway.
1 and 2 seeds in the tournament.
Okay, John?
Number 1 seed, of course, is Michael Clancy of West Deptford. 22 wins, 2 losses this year. He lost to a wrestler from Toms River North, 14-9. He lost to Arleta of Washington Township, up a weight at 145 pounds, 6-4. He's won 46 times in his career. He's applied to Ryder and Rutgers. When he's not wrestling, his favorite pastime is football. West Deptford's done well in football the last couple of years. Donnie Reed, going to attend the University of Miami and join the ROTC. He loves making shakes and cheese fries. And where might he make those cheese fries and shakes, John?
Boy, what a chance! What a chance for a cheap plug, huh? I'll tell you, these Kingsway kids are smart. One saying lumber, of course, Don and Bert's in Paulsboro.
Donnie Reed, of course, his father wrestled for Paulsboro and has the allegiance of Paulsboro, Kingsway, and South Jersey wrestling at heart. John Bush just walked by, a very dejected look in his face, heartbreaking. Son ever so close to winning against Kevin Logue of Kingsway and came up a point short. Donnie Reed, of course, we don't have his losses because there were 11 of them, 14 wins and 11 losses. But Donnie Reed has been a valiant competitor for Kingsway this year, a senior.
And we talked about him, before John out. Last year, he was the guy that you stuck out there against the other team's best man.
Yeah.
And, he paid his dues, and he's rewarded for it.
Well, every team has one, and Donnie Reed paid his dues coming up to this point. Now he's a senior, and he's going to give it his best shot at it, there's no doubt. He advanced as the number 2 seed with a 13-1 win over Jeff Franklin of Clayton. Then he beat B.J. Kirshner of Gateway 23-13. Mike Clancy is the number 1 seed, pinned Nolan Collins of Glassboro, as you see a takedown, at 137. He pinned Jamie Jimenez of Pittman in 156, and Jamie Jimenez of Pittman will take a 9-14 record to the regionals after a 15-4 win over B.J. Kirshner for 3rd place in this tournament.
15 seconds left. You talk about Clancy applying at Ryder. Number 7 in the country, the highest ranking they've ever had in the school's history, 7th in the country.
That's amazing. And there are a couple of locals on that team. George Florence of Absegami is in the Ryder lineup.
A kid from Eastern, Klein, is he
Joe
in there?
Klein, and not only was Joe Klein in their lineup, but the other day he had a big win over Anthony Cassiano of Hofstra. Anthony Cassiano, of course, was one of the wrestlers that beat Jermaine Ruffin last year. Beat him in the Caldwell tournament, pinned him. Cassiano was a football player at Hofstra, and now he's out for the wrestling team and is their starting heavyweight. And of course, we mentioned earlier seeing Mark Somm here back home to visit to see his old stomping grounds in the regionals here. A 4-time district finalist who finally broke the bubble his senior year, won a district title, a regional title, finished 3rd in the state. Mark Somm, of course, succumbed to a very painful injury this year that would have required reconstructive surgery on the elbow, and felt it was time to get on with his life and get his degree and get out and start making money in this world and do what the rest of us do. Pay lots of taxes.
Yeah.
2-0 lead for Mike Clancy after 1 period. He starts in the defensive down position. Donnie Milkshake Reed riding away.
Is that a nickname you just gave him?
How apropos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes the shakes, we'll call him a shake.
Of course, Clancy quietly had a great year for West Deptford. He's up 3-0.
Without a doubt. 22 wins, and this is senior year, and had 12 pins during the course of the year, a couple major decisions, 46 wins in his career. Steady athlete, nothing flashy, just a steady athlete. You see him pick the ankle and get a takedown.
Of course, he's on a team that has 2 wrestlers that are still undefeated, and Gardner and Craig. And I don't want to jinx anybody, but I am looking forward to next week. Craig and, is it McGinley?
From Highland High School.
That could be a great region final.
Well, I think we're going to see some great wrestling all throughout the regionals down at Absegami High School. I think it's well worth the trip for anybody to take the trip down to Atlantic City Expressway, get off on the Garden State Parkway, go north, you come to the...
cut through that Roy Rogers.
That Roy Rogers on the left side, cut into the parking lot there, go to the end of it. Exit down, cross back under the Garden State Parkway to the Y in the road, make a left, go down to the stop sign, make a left, go down about a mile, make a left, and you're there.
Yeah.
You follow that, John?
I'm lost. I knew how to get there until you just said that. That's the I don't know. I like to have it a little more north.
Well, they have a great facility down there. The
Absolutely,
gymnasium.
people are great.
Gymnasium holds over 2,000 people in there. Harry Ackerman puts on a great show, and of course, Gene Barber in his 20th year of coaching, one of the best years of his coaching career. They won the South Jersey Group 3 championship, or 3rd in the state Group 3, won the Cape Atlantic League. Probably at this time are winning their District 32 championship. We get an escape by Donnie Reed.
5-1, 39 seconds left.
Mentioned earlier that Orville Wilson, the referee, is a Salem High School graduate. Coached at Delsey High School one time, where Steve Isles now labors. Is a high school principal at Riverside on the Delaware River in Burlington County.
Matter of fact, Riverside just won their first conference title in the school's history.
Yes, they did. They won the Burlington County League Freedom Division Championship.
Got a fire truck ride through the town. 16 seconds left in the second period.
My former boss, Bob Kenny, used to bedevil the heck out of me on how I could like wrestling. Now his grandchildren are involved, and he bedevils the devil out of me trying to get information on wrestling now. And he's actually going to wrestling meets. Amazing. Mike Clancy, 5-1 lead over Donnie Reed entering the third and final period. Mike Clancy, 4th in the districts a year ago after a district championship.
Of course, a different assistant over there now, Vince Layton, who had a great career, is over there with Farnham.
Vince Layton at West Effort and Gloucester County College. Brian Farnham, of course, not only a great wrestler in high school at Haddon Township High School, he wrestled at the University of Virginia. His brother Kevin was a state champion for Haddon Township and surpassed Brian's 100-plus wins in high school. Now North Carolina State was operated on a couple of weeks ago. Career over for this year. Hopes to come back next year. Loves the sport.
Reed and Clancy, third period, 5-1, minute 30 left. Clancy just doing everything right in this match.
Couple new head coaches in the districts this year. Joe Hollywood, we mentioned earlier, at Deptford High School. You'll see some of his wrestlers coming up, former state champion. Brian Farnham, of course, at West Deptford, and Wayne Rochelle II at Pittman. 3 new head coaches in the District 29 tournament this year. Do you realize, John, that next year Paul Marino will be in his 13th year as the head coach at Paulsboro High School, and with 11 wins next year, he surpasses Bob Frederick's career coaching record at Paulsboro.
You know what? I did know that.
241 wins in 12 years for Paul Marino, 6 losses and 4 ties.
Of course, Bob Frederick just sitting at the edge of the mat, Indian style, right next to our handheld cameraman.
Yes, he is. Warning for stalling against Mike Clancy.
And that was just like sort of a cue to get a shot of Bob Frederick, and we're getting him. There's
There
Bob.
he is, sitting in Indian style. Little flecks of gray in the hair.
Deep thought. 1 minute left. Clancy in control on top and up in the match. He's up 5-1.
If Clancy wins this one, he puts West Deptford back into 3rd place in this tournament. Right now, Clearview's in 3rd place. Winding down to the last 45 seconds. I'm sure Clancy's going to hang on here. But Donnie Reed, you got to give him a lot of credit, John. One of those journeyman wrestlers who has not blessed with super rich wrestling talents, but a tireless worker. Tireless. I guess that comes from his dad making him sweep up Don and Bert so many times.
I think so. Mopping the floors. Clancy doing everything right in this match.
Well, a very steady effort by Mike Clancy. He's doing a lot of counter wrestling. The one thing people got to learn in a district tournament, when you get a tournament to where you're going on to the next level, you don't have to win by a fall. You don't have to take chances. If you just simply win, you go to the next round. And that takes care of itself.
There's a reverse, 26 seconds. So he's going to let him go. I was going to say try and turn him, but lets him go at 6-3.
Now he needs a big throw with 15 seconds to go. He needs a 2-2 somehow.
And 12 seconds left. He's trying. Almost. 3 seconds left. Mike Clancy will win for West Deptford. His first District 29 championship. What is that, votes? The second for West Deptford today?
That is the second West Deptford winner.
We'll take a break, come back. 145 is next. Back at 145 pounds. Undefeated Kevin Jackson of Woodbury going against Joe Harry of Kingsway.
And Kevin Jackson, as you mentioned, undefeated with 25-0 this year, a two-time Edgewood Christmas tournament.
Jackson, get low, man. Get low.
Wrestling Joe Harry of Kingsway. Kevin Jackson, 77 wins in his career. Joe Harry, the number 2 seeded this weight class. 20 wins this year, 3 losses. Lost to Mike Clancy, who we just saw win a district championship by a fall. And he lost twice to Kurt Pace of Pennsville. 10-8 in overtime and 7-5. 4th in the districts a year ago, Joe Harry was, as was Kevin Jackson. You hear the official Roy Fenimore saying, "Watch the toe." Kevin Jackson advanced with a 17-0 technical fall over Ed Counselor of Clearview. Then he defeated Jim Morrissey of Pittman 4-0. Joe Harry had a 14-5 win over Mike D'Alessandro of Glassboro. And then he beat Michael Funk of Paulsboro 22-11. Michael Funk, the big upset winner on Friday night in the quarterfinals, beating 3rd seeded Jim DeGregorio of Glassboro. In a consolation match, Morrissey decision at Mike Funk 15-11. And you see a takedown by Joe Harry.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Woodbury. There's a program that a lot of times had 5 or 6 wrestlers wrestling this year, forfeiting a lot of weight classes. Now, does that help a kid like Jackson?
No.
You know, whereas, you know, Harry's been in a lot of big matches this year.
Well, number one thing, when you only have 4 or 5 wrestlers out there, it becomes very discouraging to the team because your team, you know your team's not going to win. No matter what you go out there and do in the mat, your team's not going to win. You're going to give away too many forfeit points. If you only have a handful of wrestlers on the team, your workout partners are going to be strained. Yeah, you're just not going to have the variety of workout partners you need. Kingsway, on the other hand, this year, 25-0. They beefed up their schedule this year. They beefed up their squad. They have numbers. They have workout partners. Very, very difficult to have the kind of a season that Kevin Jackson has had with the lack of numbers they've had. And of course, this is from a program years ago, a Woodbury program that was among the best in South Jersey at one point. Jackson in deep on a double, spins behind, has the takedown.
He now leads 3-2.
A 3-2 lead.
Of course, Woodbury coached by Jack Hill. Pretty good wrestler in his day.
Without a doubt. Jack Hill, a Woodbury High School graduate of himself, a district champion in '86, runner-up in '85, 3rd and 4th in the regions, a Westchester University graduate. Previously coached at Haddonfield, a head coach. Rich Venuto, Paul VI graduate and a former Region 7 champion, 2-time district champ, Trenton State graduate, 3-time All-American, the assistant coach. So you have a brain trust in that corner.
Let's work, let's work. Let's work.
We'll finish 1 period. Jackson leads 3-2.
And you got to wonder if the loss earlier by Zeckman has had any mental effect on Jackson. Was Zeckman and Jackson all year as the undefeated wrestlers. Felder, their 3rd best wrestler by record in there. As you can see, Rich Venuto on the left and Jack Hill on the right, coaching from the Woodbury corner. But mentally, sometimes when your teammate loses and you kind of make a bond or a pact that, well, let's go into this district and let's both win championships, and your partner loses, mentally sometimes it can destroy you.
Wrestle in the center. I'm going to bang both of you.
146.
I'm going to wrestle in the center. I'm going to bang you.
There's the Kingsway Brain Trust.
Yes. There's Mike McConville was on the right and Guy Davidson on the left.
.130 left.
You're both men. One out of bounds. One out of bounds. Both bad stall.
A double stall call. And of course, Roy Fenimore, you know, was the official that one year that we had a double stall call in the heavyweight finals. You remember that, John?
Yeah, Yeah, it was a West Effort, Gattuso and Kahn, I think.
Yeah, West Effort's Gattuso and Kahn of
Kingsway.
Kingsway. That was about 4 years or so ago.
Well, we know that Jermaine Ruffin's going for his 4th, so
Right, so
figure
it had to be 5 years.
Yes, I remember that. No heavyweight champion that year.
No heavyweight champion that year.
Stay in that center. Let's wrestle, guys.
We have 54 seconds left. 3-2. Kevin Jackson of Woodbury continues to lead Joe Harry, and he's the aggressor here. Trying to get on the leg. Harry's trying to spin around.
He ain't gonna hook yet. Not hook. Not hook. Not hook. Not hook. Not hook. Not hook. Not hook.
Gotta have a stalemate here soon. There you get 2 now. Interesting. Interesting.
That's real good call, yeah.
You think that was a good call, Boach?
Well, I didn't know what the change was unless he knocked him to his hip, but he got the takedown. Joe Harry has a 5-2 lead.
Red's in control.
Can't be 5.
Jackson has the 5-2 lead, unless they gave it to the wrong 2.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have a discussion over at the scorers table. Let's take a listen. We have Fenimore Mike. We'll listen in.
No.
4-3.
Too red. Too red. Takedown.
Should be 4-3.
And that's what it is. Joe Harry leads.
Good choice.
Kingsway to 4-3
Injury
lead.
time.
Get injury time for Kingsway.
I was still shocked that Kingsway got the takedown.
Yeah, it kept yelling as the crowd are they waving to us?
There's the Kingsway side.
Is that Kingsway? Oh,
Absolutely.
You're right.
Hey, my man Jesse from Big Marty's is over there. I just got my hardwood floors, cheap plug. Actually, they don't come in till March 10th, but I already put my deposit there.
Good choice. Good choice. Green choice.
2 minutes left. 4-3. Joe Harry at Kingsway.
Here we go, guys.
Woodbury will start on the bottom.
Come to Royal. Freestyle.
What a ride it's been the last 3 years for Kingsway, just turning that program around the last 3 or 4 years.
Of course, Guy Davidson's been on a whirlwind of coaching activities the last couple of years. I think 58-8 is his record, John. 3 years as the head coach at Kingsway. 58 wins, 8 losses. You can hear Roy Fenimore trying to encourage the wrestlers to stay on the mat, wrestle out there. They've both been hit with stalling. He's not averse to hitting him again. Joe Harry does not want to back up like that off the mat, John.
No, I think he's going to get hit next time if he does it again. We'll see what happens. Jackson just staying there. Now Harry tries to go after him.
You don't want to wait too long.
Harry trying to spin around. Not yet.
He got it.
He got the 2.
And a 6-4 lead.
You got your 2. Let's do something. Let's do something. Take it down, Red.
6-4. Minute 3. I'm sure Harry wants to keep him down for a little bit longer.
Well, he's taking him down
He's going to let him go.
He's taking him down a couple of times.
And he's going to let him go.
3 times he's taken him down so far. All 6 of his points are on takedowns.
Stay in there.
Now it's 6-5.
And you know what that means, John, is now Kevin has to take the shots. Kevin Jackson, trailing 6-5, has to put the pressure on. Joe Harry knows that.
Harry's in there.
He can counter. He's behind.
And he can take his time with the clock moving. And he got... Nope.
You're down, Green.
He gave the takedown.
Got the takedown. He got the takedown.
And that is the 4th takedown. All 8 points. They haven't put up on the board yet.
I don't think they got it yet, but it's 8-6. Joe Harry, and Harry's down.
I think Roy Fenimore was kind of.
You have 2 takedowns, that?
Now they're discussing it. We can listen in.
I got a takedown there. Yeah.
Yep, they're giving him the takedown. He's going to go over and I think tell
Yeah,
the
I get
score.
it. Yeah. I got 2 with single 2. It's red. Okay. Me out of bounds. 2, I went 2 green. It's red.
You gave a takedown right there.
I gave a takedown there.
Fenimore
2
talking to
points.
Fred Schwartz, who's on the scoreboard. Crowd just found out.
Yep. Well, we saw it, but it wasn't a very emphatic wave of 2. We
It was
could
that
hear it.
sideways, too.
Yeah, sideways. But we could
That
hear
was
it.
sort of like a semi-piece, you know what I mean?
Another freestyle start.
8-6. Jackson needs to take down to tie it. He's in on the leg.
Harry, though, can play defense. He can counter because the pressure is on Jackson to get the takedown, so Harry can counter.
28 seconds left. They tie up, and we're going to get a stall. Nope. I wouldn't be surprised on a double stall, by the way, both. Harry will just tie him up. That's what he has to do.
That's all he has to do.
10 seconds.
You're hanging on now. Here we go. Don't back out of this circle. Don't back out of here.
Definitely Kingsway's year. 10 seconds left, 8-6. Kevin Jackson coming in undefeated. We have a stall on green, but it doesn't matter. Joe Harry, the 145-pound champion.
8-7, the final score, and he put himself in a position to win the championship, John. Great job by Joe Harry.
Maybe take a look at Joe Harry.
Third championship, individual championship for Kingsway. Like you said, John, their year. Everything is going their way. Almost everything.
Kingsway with 3 champs. West Deptford and Clearview with 2. Paulsboro has 1.
And at least one in waiting.
As we get ready for 152 pounds. And again, Clearview is definitely the favorite here. Matt Hoover. And he's going up against Ryan Reeves of Glassboro.
Yeah, Kingsway is definitely the favorite here.
That's what I meant. What did I say?
It's like Clearview. And I knew what you meant.
Yeah, you know what I meant. I was
And
just trying to.
viewers-
Yeah, I was going to make sure you were paying attention.
The viewers knew what you meant. Matt Hoover, the number 1 seed in this weight class, 22-2 coming into this bout. Had a loss to Brian Counselor of Pennsville, and he lost to John Ertl of South Plainfield. 5-2 his first loss, 3-1 his second. He was a second placer here last year. He loves dancing the 70s style. Ryan Reeves, a senior from Glassboro, Hoover the junior, has 4 losses this year to John Jones of Shalleck by injury default, to Jamie Howard of Gateway, 6-3, to Joe Henry of Kingsway, Joe Harry of Kingsway, who we just saw win a title, and Tim Newcomb of Williamstown, 45 wins in his career. He likes spending time with his girlfriend and listening to music and lifting weights. How quaint. Matt Hoover advanced with a 17-13, a 1-minute pin over Joe Caroma of Woodbury. And Matt Hoover was 15-4 winner over Mike Kendrick of West Deptford. Ryan Reeves, the number 3 seed. Tech Fall Tom Trexler of Paulsboro, 16-1 in 5 minutes. And then he beat Jamie Howard of Gateway, 8-7. Mike Kendrick will be making the trip to Absegami with his 16-5 record. He won 3rd place with a 12-5 win over Jamie Howard of Gateway. Kingsway, as we mentioned earlier, John, dominating the tournament, so to speak. They now have 185.5 points with 3 champions. Paulsboro, a distant second, 143 points. West Deptford in 3rd with 122, and Clearview in 4th with 120.
Hoover leads 2-0, and he's strongest once he gets those legs in, right, Coach?
Yes, he is. And he got near side cradle. Going hard for back points. Must expose the back. Oh my,
Nice
look at this
move.
roll through, real nice. Getting a back count. Oh my. Oh, brother. Ryan Reeves in deep trouble. Time runs out. 3-point near fall. 5-0 lead for Matt Hoover. John, Kingsway's had a marvelous year.
I just passed out from exhaustion, heat exhaustion, Bill. You were smart. You took the coat off, huh?
That's it. I could feel it earlier.
Just trying to look good.
Your dapperness, as always, is standing out, Mondelli.
Speaking to a lot of the Gloucester people early, I mean, this is a program that's actually struggled team-wise the past couple of years. And for many years, they were probably the second best Group 1 school in the state of New Jersey.
Don't think any doubt about it. I mean, they've gone on hard times with lack of numbers and experience, and that happens, especially in smaller communities, John. The well runs dry. For Paulsboro last year, it was a very lean year. Unfortunately, there was a good 8th grade group that came up out of last year's 7th and 8th grade program. As you see Ryan Reeves get in and get
nice
a takedown.
Move. Got the takedown. He gets himself right back in.
5-2. Minute 21 seconds left. Second period. Ryan Reeves back in the match, only losing 5-2. Got to be careful in locking hands. You got to locking hands. Free move for Matt Hoover. He gets not only the 1-point locking hands, but a 2-point reversal.
I'm back, Voj. I have the jacket off.
All right. We had a locking hands, and we had a reversal. So now it's 8-2. Matt Hoover. Just another one of some outstanding wrestlers that Kingsway's putting on the mat this year.
There's those legs, Voj.
Yep, and he'll be back next year, John. He's a junior.
Reeves a senior. Reeves, of course, as I said, talked to his father before the match and a couple of Gloucester people. It's just tough. When you get those legs in there, it's tough.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but you have to work with him at that point. Once you get him in there, you've got to keep some pressure on, a little bit of half Nelson pressure. If not, you'll get the stalemate call, as Chris Under, the referee, called a stalemate.
And we have 18 seconds left. 8-2. Matt Hoover leads, 152 pounds. And Hoover in control. And we have a warning, stalling on Gloucester. And that'll end the period. We talked about the Kingsway coaching staff, first Gloucester's coaching staff, as we had a little discussion going on.
Ronnie Ferrero.
First, wasn't he the coach of a Carpenter who's doing well in college? I think he coached, was a Carpenter, or who did he coach in high school to a state championship? It might have been Carpenter.
I know he was a coach up state for a year.
And you have all the information in the world with you, so I'm sure you'll give me that.
Graduated from Cranford High School, a 3-year varsity record of 40-13-2. Graduated from Seton Hall University. He coached state champion Willie Carpenter in 1990, and Willie Carpenter, of course, is at Brown University, and he will be at the EIWA tournament. John, you have a mind like
a little Voj. It's not quite like you yet. Not quite like you. 124-8-3 lead for Hoover. Hoover again in on the leg. Just trying to take his time. Clock's on his side. Nothing yet. And now he gets the takedown. He's leading 10-3.
Everything is going the right way. What a great year for Kingsway.
We'll let Reeves go. 10-4. I think Hoover just trying to get through the final 30 seconds.
Well, he's completely in control. Why take a chance? Last 10 seconds. Big lead by Matt Hoover. Kingsway is going to win another championship, celebrating early. 12-2, the final score, a major decision. What a great year.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, 160 pounds. Stay with us. I guess we're back, 160 pounds. I sort of fell asleep. I'm just talking to everybody tonight.
You are. You're getting around. You're trying to find out who won other districts today and everything.
And I'm trying to do this match. Roy Fenimore's talking to his wireless microphone, across the mat at me, to ask the guy behind me who won District 30, which no one knows right now. Of course, everybody knows by now if you're watching it.
Yeah, yeah.
160 pounds, John Craig against Kevin Dobish of Kingsway. I talked about Craig earlier, Village. Hey, Village, you like that music they're pumping in our ears? I'm sure we don't hear it on the air, but it is loud. Thank you very much.
John Craig, you certainly have talked about a number 1 seed here. He got a bye in the quarterfinals. He beat George Kuntzel of Clearview by a tech fall, 21-4 and 357 in the semis to advance to this point. Kevin Dobish advanced by a bye. Then they had 9-4 win over Mike Bonsich of Gateway. George Kuntzel will go to the regional at Absegami by way of a 6-3 win over Bonsich. And we have Craig against Dobish. John Craig, just a wonderful year, 24-0, 14 falls, 86 wins in his career. Second in the districts last year, third year before. He gets a takedown. Wants to go to York College to wrestle, and that's who I wrote about this week in the College Wrestling Notebook. As you see, back points coming on a tilt. Strong tilt. And we're going to have back points coming, 3 of them.
5-0. Of course, every wrestler in West Deptford that's still alive is shooting for a state championship, but the way Craig's been wrestling, he can be the second state champion in West Deptford history. It's our buddy Frank. You know, I'm bigger than Frank. But anyway, Frank doesn't mind. He gets his name on. Nice move by Dobish.
An escape and a takedown.
He's right back in at 5-3.
5-3. Great move. Yeah, Frankie Polio, we went out to lunch together today. He was the first state champion for West Deptford High School, the only state champion for West Deptford High School. You see the intentional escape given to West Deptford. Kevin Dobish, 22-4 this year. He's a junior. His losses were to Steinhauer of Absegami, Imes of Pemberton, Seabrook of Pennsgrove, and Lopez of Williamstown. Of course, well documented on Comcast cable telecast of the Kingsway West Deptford match. Kevin Dobish, a nephew of that Jimmy Gorman, who was
right over my shoulder, I believe, right behind me.
Is he behind you? Jimmy Gorman was a wrestler at Paulsboro High School back in the class of 1958, along with Ernie Maiden, who I saw in the tournament here. Saw Davey last year at the tournament, who was quite a wrestler in Kiki Haddock's era. It's old home week as you get here to the district. See a lot of familiar faces who are former wrestling greats. 6-3 to score at the end of one period. John Craig leading Kevin Dobish.
I didn't realize wrestling's been around as long as John had it.
His grandson's now on the team. A freshman 103-pounder backing up Matt Hunkler. Keiki, of course, a state champion in 1957 along with Jap Gentile. Jimmy Horner, a a South Jersey champion that year, and now the head coach head football coach at Haddonfield High School. Sort of retired from Cherokee, worked at Penn for a couple years as a volunteer assistant, and now he's the athletic director and head football coach at Haddonfield.
1:49 left, second period. 6-3 lead, John Craig of West Deptford. The Eagles looking for their third champion. Of course, West Deptford was the talk of the regions last year.
They had
4 champions.
They had a marvelous time last year with the 4 champions, and of course did very well in the regions as well as the districts. On paper, the handwriting on the wall last year coming back, West Deptford and Kingsway very heavily favored to kind of be in the positions they are at the end of the year. Of course, Kingsway really has shown through. 25-0 dual meet record, state Group 2 championship and CC back points.
We get
3-point near fall.
Another 5 points. 9-3. The 3-point.
Yep. 9-3 the count. John Craig's on a mission. As I mentioned earlier, wants to attend York College next year, and of course that's who we wrote about today, that Tommy McAleer from Gloucester Catholic, year at Gloucester County College, 3 years at York. Only 1 loss this year, which he avenged during a dual meet. Won the Metropolitan Championships last week and headed for Ohio. There you see in the corner, Brian Farnham on the right. Little Brian Farnham, a little spitfire of a coach.
He was up a few times today.
On more than one occasion, had his opinion on different calls, and spirited, very spirited. And you got a locking hands going to be called against West Deptford.
Make it 9-4.
9-4, automatic call when you lock hands. Kevin Dobish, of course, likes to fish and play football.
Craig has Dobish in trouble again.
Brother. There it is. Wow. What a move. 3 minutes and 8 seconds. John Craig, senior from West Deptford, the #1 seed, stays undefeated with a pin for his championship. Oh, brother.
John Craig just great in wrestling this year. Unbelievable.
Yes. And it's a shame he only had 2 matches in this tournament because he could be right in the running for that Outstanding Wrestler Award. Excellent job by John Craig.
Hey, John, you talked about college wrestling earlier. You know, the colleges, a lot of these wrestlers want to attend. There's a sport that's in trouble, too. College wrestling, not just on the high school level. A lot of the programs being dropped. I think, was it Syracuse where Bobby Hansen goes?
Right.
They're dropping it. I guess a lot of that can be attributed to Title IX.
Yeah, they call it gender equity or inequity or whatever they want to call it. But in essence, what Bobby Hansen told me was that the coach was called out to me and came back and said, we're effective at the end of this year, we don't have a wrestling program. And the reason given was that because there's just nothing to counter the participation by the men at that time of the year. There is no women's wrestling, of course. Basketball has basketball, soccer has soccer, football has field hockey. Wrestling doesn't have a counterpart, and that's part of the reason it's being given. We're at 171 pounds. This is the Cinderella guy of the tournament. Sean Johnson of Deptford, 9-5. He's wrestling against Dan Fackelman of Clearview, who's 18-5.
Johnson with a nice move.
I'm telling you, he's the Cinderella man. Clearview with the takedown, Deptford with the reversal.
Yeah, Johnson came into the tournament, voted 7-5.
7-5, the #5 seed. He pinned Andrew Colinero of Gateway in 1 minute 38 seconds. He pinned Brian Jamison, a stunning pin against Brian Jamison, the #1 seed from Kingsway in 3:12. Fackelman, the #2 seed, pinned Mike Helvetson of Paulsboro, and then he pinned Ken Federer of West Deptford. Brian Jamison will advance to the regionals at Absegami with a 23-6 record. He pinned Ken Federer of West Deptford in 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Right here, Fackelman leads 4-2.
Johnson's losses this year to Colinero of Gateway, who Fackelman, let me see, who Johnson avenged, pinned him in the first period. He got pinned by Colonero in the first period, so he got a little revenge there. He lost to Gibson of Camden. He lost to Batten of Pittman. He lost to Seabrook of Pennsgrove and Lopez of Williamstown. So the losses are quality losses. Quality losses.
Johnson in a little bit of trouble again.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh brother. Oh my. Deep trouble. Deep trouble. Deep trouble. Oh brother, so strong.
Johnson fights him off, however. Some back points, 7-2.
Oh, brother. How do you get out of that? Fackelman, 18-6 this year. His losses were to Lopez of Williamstown, Tyson Reminer of Lower Cape May, Brian Jameson 2 times, and Carl Seabrook. 46 wins in his career heading into this match right here. 7-2.
Wild first period, 7-2. And you know it was wild because I think it was the first combination. Oh my, oh brother, oh my. Not bad.
Johnson's impressive for a 7-5 record coming into the tournament. I mean, he's a very strong youngster. You can see that. He's only a sophomore. Joe Hollywood, of course, we mentioned the former state champ of Deptford is now the head coach, and give him a couple years with Johnson.
A little bit of trouble again.
My. Oh no.
Might not get out of this one, Bo.
Oh, brother. Oh, my. Oh, there it is. Oh, brother.
14 seconds into the second period. Dan Fackelman, clearly the winner.
Anything can happen. Oh, brother. Fackelman just put that half in and clamped it down. 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and Dan Fackelman is a district champion. Dan Fackelman had never placed in this tournament before. Had never placed. He's a senior. And that's 6 big points for his Clearview team.
We get ready for 189.
I'll tell you what, John, 4 champions for Kingsway, 3 for West Deptford, 3 for Clearview at this point. Oh, this could be a beauty here, John.
Troy Bennett of Paulsboro, freshman, at 189 pounds. Sean Hendricks, Deptford.
Sean Hendricks, the number 1 seed. He had a bye through the first round, won 8-5 over Bill Atkinson of West Deptford. Troy Bennett, as you mentioned, a freshman, a first period fall against Jason Smith of Clayton. Then he pinned Mike Gibbons of Gateway. Gibbons will advance to the regionals with a 15-4 record after he pinned Bill Atkinson of West Deptford. Let me tell you something about Troy Bennett, John. He's a star that has been born. He's beyond his freshman year already. 25 wins and 3 losses entering this match. All 3 wins back in December. 3 losses, I'm sorry. Okay. Lost to Dan Connolly of Brick Memorial in the Caldwell tournament. He was a district champion last year, maybe another one this year, Connolly. He lost twice in the Deep Creek tournament to Doug Norris of Deep Creek, Virginia, 9-4, and he lost to a wrestler from First Colonial, Virginia, 4-2 in overtime, when he was still learning the intricacies of being a varsity wrestler as a freshman at this weight class. That's the amazing thing, 189 pounds. Sean Hendricks, a junior, a very good athlete in his own right at Deptford High School, 21-1 this year. His only loss was to Sawyer of Delsey, 13-6. Hendricks has already been, he was 4th in the districts 2 years ago, 2nd last year, and 4th in the regions last year. 59 wins in his career. These are 2 outstanding young wrestlers. Both will be back next year.
Both on the football teams also.
Bennett, a fullback and a linebacker, and going to play a big role in Paulsboro trying to continue that unbeaten string at 51 in a row entering next season. And Troy Bennett's one of the stars of the future on that team.
And Hendricks, actually a great defensive player, probably will get the quarterbacking chores. He did a little quarterbacking, but I think with Kyle Jenkins, I think graduates, he'll be the quarterback at Deptford.
And an excellent athlete in his own right. I think the big key in this match here, John, is they're both feeling each other out.
We get 2 stall warnings, double stall warning.
the big key here might be conditioning. Troy Bennett comes from a program at Paulsboro that they thrive on conditioning, as we've seen throughout the tournament when other teams have had wrestlers take injury time out or breaks.
And we're scoreless for the first period.
Bennett is a tireless worker.
Hendricks defers. Bennett will take the bottom to start the second period.
And of course, what Bennett has to be careful of, John, he can't make freshman mistakes. A couple of times this year, he made freshman mistakes, and it cost him.
Kevin Dovish, please report to the photo area. Kevin Dovish.
Did they ever call the 50-50, John?
I won. No, I don't know votes.
I think I lost again. I'm sure somebody would have alerted me.
Keep working.
We would have heard the boos probably. We're not sure. You're a wildlife guy. What do we got? Stalemate.
Ball.
Stalemate, guys. You're down, man.
We could have a win.
Could have injury time. Shoelace. I thought he was holding his ankle too, John. Is that tape on the shoe, on the sneaks?
That's what it looks like.
You know what?
Quick stand up, and he got
You know
out.
what that is on the tape on there? Did you see the initials?
For the coach.
GM. Greg McLean. In memory of the former coach.
Bennett leads 1-0 with the escape. We have a minute 30 left in the second. Each wrestler's been hit with a warning. And back to the center.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Two stars will be back again next year. Bennett will be back 3 more years.
But these are two wrestlers that came in as freshmen. Of course, Bennett's a freshman now, and Hendricks, I think, wrestled 160 as a freshman and had a pretty good freshman year.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to come in at an upper weight and excel, and both have done that.
Yeah, I think Hendricks won maybe 19. I don't know if you have his, but I think he won 19 as a freshman.
Very good year.
Bennett surpassed that already.
Oh my! Oh boy!
Nice takedown by Troy Bennett.
Oh my!
3-0.
John, I've seen it so often this year. That football takedown move. Bennett is such a strong individual. And a nice individual too, John. We got to work on his English a little bit. I understand he slipped a little bit in the classroom this last marking period. We're going to get some reminders to him that he's got to hit the books as well as hit the mats.
3-1, escape by Hendricks. 25 seconds left, second period.
Oh my, oh my.
Out of space.
Let's go, Green. You gotta stay in the center here. He's taking the shots.
I imagine you heard that. Green, you got to stay in the center, meaning Hendricks, he's taking the shots. That's what the official looks for when you got stalling warnings. Who's taking those shots out there on the takedown attempts? There you got to go. There you got to stall.
1-point Paulsboro, 4-2, 4-1, Bennett leads.
And that's because he had warned Green, you've got to take some shots. You just can't block.
And that happened with 7 seconds left in the period, so we're through two.
Big point.
4-1, Troy Bennett over Sean Hendricks. We get the two. We got the two. Reverse. 4-3. Big 2 points for Hendricks. Big 2.
There again, the experience, John. Here's the junior against the freshman. You're on top like that. You give the 1, you don't give the 2. He was a little tardy on his start. Hendricks fired out and got the reversal. You see Paul Marina down on one knee. Dean Duke, assistant coach at Paulsboro. Paul Marina encouraging on Troy Bennett. Here comes the tilt.
Of course, now Bennett's got to worry about the stall warning.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about stall warnings, but he can't clamp up on the bottom because if he gets tilted, he's going to give up back points. He only has a 1-point lead.
Right.
He's got to get to his feet. He's got to battle to escape.
I think after that stall call on Hendricks, he's got a little more aggressive.
He has, and you will. I mean, if it was like Andy Vallejo against Demian Green in the dual meet. I'm sure that nobody from Kingsway or Vallejo himself liked the stall call, but after the stall warning, boom, he came back and got a takedown. As he escaped.
Okay, Hendricks needs a takedown, at least one.
5-3.
Stall calls. 5-3. Bennett leads. 1:05 left.
Pickle Ruffin will be going for his 4th consecutive district championship tonight, the 4th time at heavyweight, all one weight class. Troy Bennett, I'm sure, as you look on Marv Hamilton Jr. and Marv Hamilton Sr. to our left, Mom Hamilton right behind him, Paula, Marv Hamilton Jr.'s mom. We're saying, Pickle can win 4 championships as a heavyweight. I don't think you're going to see Troy Bennett at 189 next year. This young man is going to be a brute, I think.
41 seconds left.
Pickle encouraging him from the side. You got 2 coaches in the corner and Jermaine Ruffin on the side of the mat. Bennett's at his best when he keeps the pressure on, John. Bob Frederick backing up.
Down to 30 seconds.
The scoring table.
He's trying to catch him. That's gutsy. That's gutsy because they could all go falling. Wayne Rochelle Sr. laughing at that.
Yeah.
He's covering up his face. I think he's getting on Frederick for that. I wouldn't want to get in the way of these 2 kids.
No. 2 great athletes here. Bennett doing what he has to do here. He's blocking, but he's taking the shots. There's another shot. Oh, brother.
11 seconds left.
I don't know if I take those kind of shots.
No, you don't want them to.
I think I'd just circle. Oh!
Nothing yet. 6 seconds. Hendricks might have a takedown. Did he get it?
Not yet. No.
We got
overhooking. Had the whizzer in.
Oh, brother, that was close.
Had the whizzer in. Or as Nicky B used to like to say, the wizard.
Another great match.
Oh, brother.
And Troy Bennett as a freshman.
And
wins a district title.
And you rarely see emotion out of Troy Bennett, and he savored that championship. He loved it. District champion, freshman Troy Bennett.
We're going to take a break, come back. 2:15 in heavyweight follows. We're back at Gloucester County College. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Cross Run Autos in Paulsboro. Looking to rent a car, buy a car, repair your car. Visit Cross Run Autos on Broad Street in Paulsboro. Glassboro Lumber, of course, run by Jerry Vallejo. That's on right off Delsey Drive. Of course, if you're looking for any kind of lumber or to redo your kitchen, call Jerry. Pools and Spas by Van Brill. It's getting in that pool season coming up pretty soon. It already feels like spring with the nice weather we've been having. And of course, the South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame. Now 215 pounds, undefeated Harry Weber of Deptford and Mike Shields of West Deptford. And Shields has been wrestling great recently, Boj.
Yes, he has. 2 seniors, 2 outstanding seniors. Harry Weber, of course, 12-0, a limited number of matches because he broke his hand and missed 6 weeks of the season. 51-9 in his career. He wants to wrestle for Gloucester County College next year and own his own business someday. Mikey Shields, senior at West Deptford, one loss to Jameson of Kingsway. That was Dave Jameson. Remember that? I think it was a 1-0 match.
It was close. I remember that, yeah.
And Luke Carpenter of Pennsville in overtime. Mikey Shields, 57 wins in his career. He was 2nd in this district last year, 1st year before when he had that, I guess that Mike Bell that he beat, maybe, was it?
You have all the stats.
I know, I got him somewhere.
I don't think it was Mike Bell.
I don't think so either. Region 8, 4th placer last year. And Shields gets the takedown.
2-0. Thing about Weber you got to worry about, I guess, is if he's back in wrestling condition.
Mike Shields beat that Nick Samasici of Clearview 2 years ago at 215 pounds. Last year, of course, was in the semifinals, he lost to that Borzio of Kingsway 7-3.
Borzio, I think, beat David.
Semifinals, and Shields came back and beat Buddy Rogers and Gloucester, pinning him in the first period. And Borzio went on to beat John David. Matt Borzio beat John David of Paulsboro.
45 seconds left. Mike Shields with the 2-0 lead. And he had some match, huh, Vogue, in the semifinals?
Oh, I'm telling you, Mike Shields in the semifinals, he advanced with a 36-second pin over Brad Kushner of Clearview first. Then he met that Dave Jamison, and he beat him 1-1 overtime and tiebreaker. Oh, my, oh, my. Dangerously close to being a slam. Almost lost him. He lost him in midair, dropped him. Would have been a penalty point.
I'll tell you what, you saw his face. I think he said, whew.
Yeah.
Almost.
And we got a stall warning on West Deptford. Yeah, what we meant on that ride out in overtime, Shields, it was 1-1. They went an overtime 2-minute period, no further scoring. They went to the 30-second tiebreaker, as you see.
Greg Lay
on the screen.
I know all this West Deptford.
Yes, you do.
Bark and Rex.
Overtime, and then Jamison won the toss, elected to take the bottom, and Mike Shields had to ride him for 30 seconds and did so. Harry Weber had a bye in the first round. He beat that Warren Sharper of Paulsboro 4-3. Dave Jamison come back and beat Sharper 2-1 for third place, and will go to Absegami. Warren Sharper, another wrestler for the future of Paulsboro, a sophomore. Had he been in the wrestling room every day this year, no telling how far he could have advanced. Still learning the game.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with their heavyweights next year. We'll talk about that a little bit later, I guess, when Muffin gets out. 2-0 to start the second period. Weber on the bottom, and he's trying to get out. Once again, Shields picks him up, and they go out. No one goes down.
As we mentioned, Joey Hollywood is the coach of Deptford High School. Otis Myers, a former coach, has been in the corner with him. Also has another former wrestler at Deptford. Otis's son has been in there as an assistant coach. Otis Myers Jr.
A lot of thumping down on the mat.
Yes.
That was a 4.6.
Joe Hollywood, a 3-time district champion, a 3-time state place winner, a first, a second, and a third in the state tournament, was an All-American for Gloucester County College. And I think Deptford's going to be a team to be reckoned with in a couple of years. If Joe Hollywood gets the bodies, and you see him over there talking to the officials in the background, Chris Hunter, the referee, Joe Henry, the assistant on the mat. I think if Joe Hollywood gets the bodies, there you see him going back into the corner. I guess that is Otis, senior or junior? Junior?
Looks like he took your ear, I'll tell you that, Village. You're missing yours. Weber trying to get out. Shields keeping him down.
A stalling warning, and that's going to be a point.
West Deptford obviously not happy with that call.
Brian Corn, the West Deptford coach, not happy with that call. And I think whenever you have a stalling call, it's going to be 50-50.
Weber once again trying to stand up.
Calling it against is not going to like it. The calling team you're calling it for will kind of agree with you. Got to take him to the mat.
And there we go. He finally gets out.
Well, and I think Brian Farnham over the corner instructed him to let him out, because if he gets in with another stalling point, you're going up the ladder. 1-1, 2 and out are your stalling calls. So that was almost like a semi-intentional escape.
They were tied at 2.
Tied at 2.
Seconds. Left in the second period.
John, if it was the old days and we only had 12 weight classes or third weight classes, be on our way home right now.
I was going to say, you'd probably be at the Sons of Italy. And
now, big day tomorrow, John. Big seating meeting down at Absegami. Got to go home, do a little homework tonight, be up early in the morning and look at the other districts, and then we'll go down to the seating meeting. And
how about the birthday cake? Did that happen yet?
See how things go. Oh, yeah.
Little birthday cake from Mrs. Bode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Guys, celebrate those birthdays, both of you. He's right in the middle of wrestling season. 21 seconds left. Your pills, have you taken them?
I took it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
making
was
sure.
Waiting for you to remind me a little while ago, but thanks to Donnie Reed bringing his milkshake over, I saved a little and could swallow effortlessly on the air.
I ain't want to do this one solo. We got another point because another stall was called. Now 3-2 in favor of Deptford. Harry Weber with the lead. Next stall is a 2-point. Next one he's out.
Next one is 2.
Right. Next one.
West Deptford was
after
warned for stalling. Hit with stalling. And then the next one will be 2 points for stalling and then disqualification. So he's been warned.
Right.
He will be down. He will escape. Probably. Very, very difficult to hold these caliber of wrestlers down. They're both very good.
Oh, we have an injury.
We have injury time.
1:56 left, and Shields is down. They're looking for a penalty point. And we got the point.
And we didn't get a point.
It's now 3-3.
Well, and I'm not quite sure. Was that illegal?
There you see the scorer's table. There you see Boyd Sands all the way in the back.
Top of his head, the flat top back there. There he is. His face is visible now. Smile.
Executive Director of the NJSIAA. Fred Swartz sitting down in the blue shirt at the scorer's table. Great stat man. He used to be a coach at Deptford football team, help out. Great job doing stats. Actually did some work with the Comcast network doing some college football games.
All right.
And some other guy over there running this tournament today, Steve Hanashevsky. So 1:55 left. Question I was going to say, does Weber let him up and then go for the takedown? Which he does.
Have to. 4-3 at this point. West Deptford got the penalty point, and then they got the escape. 4-3. Mike Shields leading. Oh my! On the line.
Just out of room.
Well, now see, Shields has been hit twice for stalling here. So if Weber, what Weber wants to do here is keep the pressure on. Try and force Shields into a stall. If he does, it'll be a 2-point call.
Right.
Weber's got to take the shots, and if he does, and Shields keeps countering, he could get hit with a stall.
There's a tattoo.
One of many that we've seen. I'm not quite sure what that tattoo was. The leg moved too fast for my eyes. A little devil.
Fred Booker says he believes it's the Tasmanian Devil. Hey, the funny thing is it's on the Deptford kid, not the West Deptford kid. West Deptford usually leads the league in tattoos. 1:03 left. 4-3 lead for Mike Shields of West Deptford.
Well, and both officials are eyeballing Mike Shields because Weber is putting some pressure on. Shields cannot back up, and he can't keep blocking. There
it is. That's 2.
That's 2 points.
Now 5-4 in favor of Harry Weber.
And he's got
Weber looks like he hurt his hand again.
He had the broken hand, of course, early in the year, costing 6 weeks of the season. 5-4, 50 seconds to go.
I don't know if you remember, Vogue, when we did West Deptford against Pinelands down at Butte in the playoffs, and Shields, I think, stalled out.
Yes.
So I wonder if that's,
It was a penalty point situation where the points mounted, and actually the Pinelands coach, Bill Savage, kind of kept it to himself until that last call by Tom Reynolds, and he was giving 2 points, and actually that was the DQ situation, and Shields ended up losing. We all know exactly what's going on right here.
36 seconds left, 5-4. Shields in. Oh, almost into the camera, onto the floor.
Brian Foreman is yelling for a stalling call. Has Weber been warned for stalling yet? I don't remember. I don't have
think
anything
so.
marked down that he's been warned for stalling.
There we go. Shields with the head. Does he
Headlock
get it?
attempt. He's not going to get
He's
it.
going to get caught. Take down Weber. Weber's going to get a district title. 15 seconds left. He's up by 3.
Unbelievable. That's what happens when you're behind. You have to force the issue, and if you're a good counter wrestler, you take advantage of it.
He gets the escape. 7-5. 2 seconds. 1. It's over.
Well, I'm not sure what the final score is. They got 7-4 on the board.
I believe it's 7-5. I believe he got the escape. But Harry Weber wins. We'll take a break. Back with the heavyweight right after this. I'm back at Gloucester County College. You can be seeing a little bit of history. No heavyweight has ever won 4 district championships, at least in South Jersey, and might even be state history. I'm not sure of that as we see. We're waiting as Troy Bennett is receiving his award for winning at 189. There's Troy, and here we go. Jermaine Ruffin for Paulsboro, John Sewell for Deptford.
And it may be quick, so keep your eyes open.
Look at this. Ruffin just picks him up.
Oh my!
Takes him down.
He's on a mission. He's on a mission. 27-0, Jermaine Ruffin. 18-5, sophomore John Sproul of Deptford. Sproul's lost this year to Smith of Pittman, Garcia of Woodbury, Jackson of Shallot, Gandy of Pennsville, Wreck of Clearview. Ruffin, the defending state champion, 3-time district champion, 2-time Region 8 runner-up. What can you say about Pickle Ruffin? He's been amazing in his career at Paulsboro. He advanced with a 13-second pin over Chris Murphy of West Deptford. He pinned Robert Wreck of Clearview in 49 seconds. Sproul advanced to number 3 seed with a win over Garcia. Pinned in 123, got a little revenge. And then he pinned John, a record of Kingsway in 313. He's turning him, oh my!
That could be it, Coach.
Oh my!
That's
There it is! There it is! 57 seconds, and that has to rate Outstanding Wrestler Award consideration. A 13-second pin, a 49-second pin, a 57-second pin, 4 times a district champion.
Actually, we had
Earlier tonight, Kevin Van Brill, the 27th 4-time district champion in history. Ruffin, the 28th.
We'll take a break. We'll come back, wrap it up right after this timeout. We're back at Gloucester County College, where Kingsway has stopped Paulsboro's streak of 25 straight district titles, and joining John Voging and myself is Guy Davidson. Guy, just doesn't stop. I mean, last week was a state Group 2 title. Tonight you knock off Paulsboro's streak of 25 straight district titles.
I don't know that it's so much that we knocked off Paulsboro. I think it was a matter of our kids just coming in and doing the best job that they could. Certainly winning 25 times in a row here is an accomplishment that may never be duplicated again. We have all the respect in the world for Paulsboro, but we're real proud of our guys too, and you know, we're going to look to hang on to this thing for a little while if we can.
I think the key to Kingsway this year has been the balance. I mean, top to bottom, you guys have been balanced, and I think that's the key to winning.
Yeah, you know, it's real tough to prepare for us. If you're trying to duck someone in our lineup, I don't know where you're going to go. There aren't a whole lot of holes, and we seem to be real solid through the middle. And it's just, hey, it's made for 25 wins.
And you know, the thing that's interesting about the team, I think, guys, is that there's so many guys coming back. You had 4 district champions, 4 individual district champions. I think 3 of the 4 are back.
Yeah, we're going to return 11 starters next year. And I would think that we'll be probably at least as talented as we were this year, next year. You know, we have some nice JVs coming up. some 8th graders that should help us out as freshmen next year. So we're looking forward to next year also.
You know, I think you look at this year, John and Guy, and at 25-0 in dual meets, South Jersey Group 2 champions, Tri-County Conference Royal Division champions, State Group 2 champions, District champions, with 11 guys coming back. I mean, that's awesome, and it's a tribute to the program over at Kingsway. I mean, the young people come into the program, haven't missed much of a beat. I think I've watched Kingsway so many times this year, have been very impressed with the tenacity they've shown. They're great on their feet. You guys just doing a great job with them.
Well, you know, I'd like to give a lot of credit to our midget program. They do such an outstanding job of preparing our kids for high school wrestling. By the time they get to us, they're pretty much ready to go. We work on refining their technique a little bit, basically just getting them ready for the competition they're going to face with the schedule that we're going to have.
My question, last week you won Group 2. How much going up North Jersey in that environment with North Jersey wrestlers, is that going to get you ready for the regions and state competition?
If nothing else, it prepared us for the officiating that we're going to see up there. It's a little bit different than what we see down here. I'm not going to say better or worse on the air, but I'll just say this, we'll be ready for it.
Okay, we're going to let Guy go. We're going to get Matt Hoover in a couple seconds. Guy, thanks a lot, congratulations. And we're going to get Matt Hoover in just a few.
Grabbing for us, sending this way, just representing your team, your 4 district champions. We'd like to talk to him for a second.
Sure.
John, if we could just review while Guy goes after Matt Hoover. You know, the championships were spread out. Kingsway had 4, Paulsboro had 3, West Deptford had 3, Clearview had 3, and of course that's the way the team scoring worked out. Kingsway with 190 points wins the championship, stops Paulsboro's streak of 25 in a row. Paulsboro with a remarkable year with only 2 seniors in a lineup. Guy Davidson's talking about returning 11. Paulsboro is going to return 12, and they finished second with 153 points. West Deptford 128 under a new head coach. Clearview 126 for 4th place, and that's the way we figured going into the meet. So the spread was really interesting in the districts, and the total balance was indicative of how Kingsway did this year. We're hesitating here because they're announcing who got the Outstanding Wrestler Award, and the only 4-time heavyweight district champion in South Jersey in state history, Jermaine Ruffin, was selected as the Outstanding Wrestler, and well-deserving.
Yeah, I mean, he had just a great tournament. He wasn't out there much. I don't think he wrestled, 2 or 3 minutes the whole time.
It was amazing. He had a first period 13-second pin his very first match. The second match was in double digits in the first minute. Excuse me for licking my thumb to turn it in 57 seconds. He never went past a minute in the 3 times he wrestled, and that's a great accomplishment. A fitting tribute, a fitting end to a great tournament for Jermaine Ruffin, a great career in South Jersey. As a defending state champion, he's on a mission to grab that golden ring one more time.
And of course, I don't think any Paulsboro wrestler has ever won 2 state championships in a row.
None. We've had a 2-time state champion in Matt Suter, but he won it his sophomore year, and then he won it his senior year. He didn't win it twice in a row. We got one of the stars. Matt, come here, Matt. We have one of the stars of the Kingsway lineup here, Matt Hoover. And Matt, all we want to say is we talked with Coach Davidson. He talked about the balance this year. He talked about the tenacity that the guys have shown, about the hard work ethic in the practice room. What's it mean to you as a Kingsway wrestler to be a part of the team that was not only 25-0 this year and state Group 2 champions, but the first district champion other than Paulsboro in the district they've been in 26 years?
It feels great to knock off Paulsboro and be the best team around. And all the hard work just paid off this year, and it feels so great right now.
How about individually for you? Were you getting nervous as you got closer to a district championship final, or have you just been using the work ethic that I'll take it one bout at a time and then just let things flow as they may?
I figured I was the man to beat in district finals today, so I figured he had to beat me, and I felt confident going in.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific.
Okay, Matt, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Good luck down at Absegami.
John, it's been fun. I think Steve Anashevsky's going to be joining you next week when you're down at Absegami for the regions. For John Vogeting, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next week.